Again, one of the coaches for the North-South All-Star game this year is head coach Frank Tucker of the Alexandria Valley Cubs. He will be the head coach for the North roster. We got a chance to catch up with him about that on Monday when those things came out, all the rosters and the coaches and whatnot came out. So a fantastic honor for him. Also Dakota Sams, a departing senior, who will graduate here in the next few days. He will be a part of that game as well. Lots of players from the East Alabama community will be playing in that game. Just a testament to the kind of talent and coaching that's in this area. And I know that Coach Frank Tucker is excited to get that underway. Coming on July 21st, I believe, is a Friday, down at the Crampton Bowl in Montgomery.
Gerhard, you mentioned Lou Scales and Larry Ginn. Alexandria has a record that I would like to, it would be very hard to research as many high schools as there are all across this country, but Alexandria has something that would stand up with any high school anywhere, I think. 3 head coaches in 69 seasons.
Wow. Coming
up this fall.
I mean, it reminds you of what you see with like the Pittsburgh Steelers, just that kind of continuity, that kind of longevity. And it speaks to the program. On down years and on good years, they know that they expect excellence, but at the same time, they understand there'll be ebbs and flows here and there. And every coach has had them, and Coach Frank Tucker's had them as well. But they've stayed with them. They stayed with that program, and they take a lot of pride in that. And I think that it's a good thing, and a lot of schools and a lot of just football and sports operations just in general can take a lesson from schools like Alexandria that run their program that way.
There you see the Valley Cub cheerleaders with the run-through, getting ready for the players. The Weaver Bearcats and Alexandria have played a lot on the gridiron through the seasons, but though not lately. It's been a rivalry that was big back in the 1970s and 1980s. It's taken a lull here for the past several years, so it's good to see these two teams get together on the football field, even if it is a spring game. Only maybe 7 or 8 miles separate the two schools. There you see some of the fans out in the stadium. We're just about ready to get this thing underway. The Weaver Bearcats have made their way through their cheerleaders run through. And here comes Alexandria. The Valley Cubs semifinalists in 2015 in Class 5A. Second largest school in Calhoun County behind Oxford, and that's still kind of hard to believe for a lot of folks out in the valley that still think of it as a little country school. And I guess to some degree it's still a country school, but not so little anymore.
Right. The numbers have gone up, and that's a real true testament to the school system in and of itself, and the high school, the kind of teachers they have, the quality education that you get at Alexandria High School, and we've seen the numbers grow and grow and grow. And so it's not the Valley Cubs of old as far as numbers go, but it certainly is as far as quality and excellence and tradition, and being able to sustain that over the course of time as the coaches get in their final game notes with the team, and they'll be able to take the field here in the next couple of minutes. One of the things that is different about this jamboree, if you watch some of the other ones on Friday and Saturday of last week and then Monday of this week, they had simulated kicking. Here we go, live kicking for the first 3 quarters. It's a great chance to get all of the aspects of the football team evaluated, the offense, the defense, and then that all-important special team. So we will see these varsity guys running out and playing it just like they would on a Friday night in September.
So Weaver will tee the football up at the 40 to kick off to Alexandria. And we're about ready to get this thing underway. The Bearcats will be the home team. They are wearing the red, and Alexandria in the road uniforms with the white jerseys. And we're just waiting on a whistle to get this thing underway. Weaver's Riley Benavides, number 75, will kick off for the Bearcats. And there you see he puts the leg into the football, and it will be fielded by Alexandria at the 18-yard line. And so Alexandria will put it into play there.
We will see what the Valley Cubs come out with in their first series here. Some of the guys that were big playmakers for this football team last year. You mentioned at the top of the broadcast Luke Tucker will not take the snaps, and it will be odd to see somebody else outside of Luke Tucker taking these snaps here for this offensive unit for the Valley Cubs.
And I think you're going to see another Tucker. Number 19, Josh Tucker, will start for Alexandria. Josh will be a junior in the fall. He has played some mop-up duty the past couple of years. He is the younger brother of Luke Tucker, and he'll give on the first play of the ball game. Alexandria doesn't go to the air very much, and they give this one to Quentin Bowie, and Bowie will be stacked up there at the line of scrimmage. Might have picked up a yard out across the 35 to about the 36.
It's a big-looking running back, and Quentin Bowie, I know that you've talked about at the top of the telecast, so you might see him taking the ball from under center as the quarterback, and he's a big old guy back there, and he's one of the best playmakers for this team, so it's expected to see the ball in his hands a lot.
Chase Smitherman in the backfield, and they're going to give it on the wingback reverse to Grayson Chafin. And Chafin will pick up about 4 yards up to about the 40-yard line.
Pretty nice blocking up front. It's a great block there by number 58, David Collins, along the inside. That was one of the things that really marked the last game, was both Welburn and Ohatchee, with a lot of their big guys playing well up front. Nice block there to bring up a third and manageable, third and about medium.
3rd and 5 coming up for the Valley Cubs. And they'll keep it on the ground with a give to Smitherman. And Chase Smitherman will pick up the first down out across the 45 up to the 46-yard line. Give to the big fullback. Picks up his first down, got a yard more than he needed.
One of the words you use with Smitherman is tough, and football fans across Calhoun County know that name, and that name is synonymous with the word tough and being a tough football player along the inside. And it comes down to situations like that. 3rd down, we need to pick up a first. What do you do? Give him 6 yards.
First down now for Alexandria. They're going to toss it out to Chafin. And nice looking play there. Chafin took the toss and picks up about 5 up to the 50-yard line.
Whenever I think of Alexandria football, this is honestly one of the first plays that I think about. It's a toss play, but it's a short toss, and you give your running back a head of steam. So you still have downhill running as far as your concepts go, and it's still between the tackles, but you're giving it to him on a toss, and the running back's able to get a head of steam before he gets out. That's one of the things that's been in this playbook for a very, very long time, and they have that as a tendency for them because they do it so well.
2nd down and 6. Here's a toss coming back to the other side, and Chafin's got yardage again. Nice blocking, nice room to run, and he'll motor inside the 45 down to about the 43-yard line. Picks up a first down.
Another toss here, like you said, but this time to the outside. And we're seeing some of the versatility here from Grayson Chafin. A nice run there, picking up yet another first down for this Valley Cub offense. They're seeing a good look at that offensive line. Number 60, Skylar Hawkins. 67 there in the middle. Skylar Payne. 2 guards, 2 tackles along the outside, and the tight end to the right side here in this formation.
And the first down play. There's a give up the middle. Here's Smitherman again inside the 35 and down to the 34-yard line. Picks up another first down. He's going to be about a yard short, I believe.
Just the inside handoff there, a hat on a hat. Great blocking there by the Alexandria guys up front. Seeing some of the other offensive linemen, you see 71, Ethan Darnell, and 78, Braden Best. I think got all 5 of them in there.
Chase Smitherman's dad, Rodney, was a standout player for Alexandria. Blocked to punt to win a ball game with a safety against Cleburne County back in 1983. His grandfather, Hugh Smitherman, had a good career at Alexandria, went on to become the director of the civil defense for Calhoun County for many years. And that's what you're talking about, that 3 generations, and they're all tough, hard-nosed players.
Absolutely, and there's a certain pride that comes with that. Once the families identified themselves as that way, and so far, the youngest Smitherman coming through the ranks is following just in line as a very, very impressive drive here for Alexandria sustains once again.
So the Valley Cubs pick up the first down now from the 30-yard line. This drive began back at the 35. They're going to give it to Chafin going back the other way. Chafin got a little angle down the sidelines, turns it straight up, and he'll get down to the 10-yard line. Grayson Chafin motors for 20 yards from the 30 down to the 10.
impressive running here by Grayson Chafin along the outside, and here a couple missed tackles. There's 2, there's 3 along to the outside before he's pushed out of bounds. Give a lot of credit here to Chafin. It's a great one-on-one effort, but you know Coach Darryl Hamby and that defensive unit for Weaver will talk about being able to wrap up there, stop them, because they would have had maybe a 2-yard loss, a 1 or 2 yard loss there, and maybe even no gain, but that one rips off for a first down thanks to the second effort.
Ball will officially be placed at the 12. 32 yards on 4 carries for Chafin. Here's the give to Smitherman, and they'll stack him up at the line of scrimmage. Several Weaver Bearcats. Tyreek Hall, one of the players to watch. Kyle Clapper, number 34, among those in on the tackle there for the Bearcats.
Weaver defense looking to build from last year. There was a team that made it to the Class 3A state playoffs. They were the ones that, just the defensive unit that came up with a big tackle on Malik Miller, which ended up being a big storyline in the Class 3A playoffs moving forward for Madison Academy in the first round.
Second down. And there is a flag in the backfield. See if this is a delay against Alexandria. Nope. It's going to be a false start against the Cubs. So that's the first penalty. Not bad for a spring game, Gerhard, when you played 4.5 minutes to get to your first penalty.
Exactly. And we saw a lot of that, too, in the game before this one. Really, I think 3 penalties, 4 penalties maybe overall in that game. And that's one of the things that coaches want to come out of spring with, is a basic core understanding of playing football without hurting yourself, without making those kind of mistakes. Obviously, being injury-free is will always be goal number 1.
And here is the give on the reverse to Quentin Bowie, and Bowie inside the 15 down to about the 14.5-yard line. Picks up a couple of yards. So to bring up a third down for Alexandria, just inside the 15-yard line. 6:47, the clock rolling to play in this opening quarter. And it's been all Alexandria. Weaver has not had the football. Valley Cubs have controlled it. They have had possession for almost 5.5 minutes. It'll be 5.5 minutes when they snap the football. There you see Josh Tucker, number 19, and there's another whistle. And we will have a timeout. No score. Alexandria calls a timeout. We'll take a break, and then we'll be back. You're watching the 2016 Calhoun County Spring Jam presented by Tony Sarah Ford.
For over 15 years, Mizell Heating and Air Conditioning has provided superior year-round comfort for you and your family. And no matter what kind of system you have, now is a great time for a tune-up to make sure it runs smoothly all season long. And if it's time for a new one, we're the Rheem team, offering energy-efficient Rheem heating and cooling systems that will save you money on your energy bills every month. From service calls to a complete replacement, you can count on Mizell Heating and Air Conditioning to do it right. First time, every time.
And after the timeout, the Valley Cubs with a third down, about 12 yards to go. They can pick up a first down at the 2-yard line. They have marched down the field, but the drive beginning to stall, and Quentin Bowie comes in at quarterback and then keeps it just forward down to about the 12-yard line. But it'll be fourth and still about 10 yards to go for the first down for Alexandria. And you're going to see the Valley Cubs go for it here on 4th and 10 from the 12, I believe.
Looks like it. Looks like the offensive unit will stay out there. This is a great chance for the Weaver defense to come up with a big turnover on downs. Alexandria kind of ran at will there in the first part of the drive. And then we'll see what this Weaver defense can do as Frank Tucker heads into his 10th year.
Longtime assistant under Larry Ginn, played quarterback for Lou Scales. Frank Tucker's about as Alexandria as you can get. He's not going to be real happy with that, though, as Josh Tucker's going to lose yardage back to the 16-yard line. And this drive that looks so promising will end giving it over on downs at the 17-yard line. 11 plays on the drive for Alexandria, but they give it over on downs to Weaver, and we'll see what the Bearcats can do with it from their own 17.
Saw Frank Tucker earlier. There's a good shot of Daryl Hamby, Weaver's head coach. He has to be really surprised, but really happy with what his defense did just there. Able to come up with the 4th down stop, the turnover on downs.
So the Bearcats will operate out of the shotgun. Dalton Hamby, he's going to flip it out. Nice catch there by the Bearcats number 34, Kyle Clapper, but he'll have his legs cut out under him, and you'll see it coming up right here.
Good open field tackle there. That's exactly what they preach as a defensive back in the open field. When that ball comes up there, you're kind of your first and last line of defense before a lot of green grass in front of you. You don't make that tackle, 9 times out of 10 that goes for a 1st down.
And A.J. Martin making the tackle there, the leading tackler for Alexandria in 2015. Pretty fitting that he makes the first tackle of this spring game for Alexandria. Hamby rolls out to his right. I think the ball came loose, but they'll say he recovers it at the 10-yard line. Play loses, or no, he did not recover it. Valley Cubs are going to come up with it. So the Valley Cubs coming up with the loose pigskin inside the 10 down at the 9-yard line. So Weaver only able to run a couple of plays and give it over on a turnover to Alexandria. Cubs will have it 1st and goal from the 9-yard line.
Big turn of events there for that Valley Cub football team. Ball essentially where it was just a minute ago when they had the football earlier.
So the Cubs out of the wing tee. They'll give it to Grayson Chafin, and Chafin's going to dance in almost untouched for a score. One play, 9 yards, and Grayson Chafin on his 5th carry of the night takes it in for Alexandria's 1st points of the ball game.
Took advantage there of the turnover. Grayson Chafin cruises into the end zone for the 1st score of this game. And Chafin, you talked about it earlier, had a little over 30 yards on 4 carries earlier. It's a fantastic average. There gets his 1st touchdown of the game, and you know they will lean on him heavily coming up in the fall. And so far, so good for the big number 5.
Cubs are going to go for 2 from the 3-yard line. Josh is going to step back, throw to the corner of the end zone, and can't make the connection with his intended receiver. So the 2-point conversion is no good. And Alexandria leads 6-0 with 4:42 here to play in this opening quarter.
So they made a mistake, and then they capitalized on yet another mistake in a very, very short Tony Saraford scoring drive. Just one play, 9 yards off the turnover, and they made the Bearcats pay just 6 seconds off the clock to get the 1st score of the game.
So the Valley Cubs lead now 6-0. Chafin has 41 yards on 5 carries, and Alexandria will kick off for the first time this evening. Trey Prim will do the kickoff duties. He wears number 70. And there you see Daryl Hamby, the Weaver coach. Coaches both football and basketball. Has a 29-36 record in his 7th year as the head coach in football. 3 straight playoff berths for Coach Hamby there at Weaver. And here is the kickoff. Alexandria will squib it along the ground, and Weaver will get it. So they are kicking it off, but not returning it.
Right. It's a little bit different than we saw in that first game. So it is live as far as the kick and then the cover, but it looks like they'll call it dead right where the returner gets the football there. So we'll start business here at the 35-yard line for Weaver. They'll go with their quarterback, Dalton Hamby. And if Hamby and Tucker sound familiar, that's because there's the name of the head coaches. So both sons had lead as the starting quarterback for their unit. Dalton Hamby for Weaver and head coach Daryl Hamby. And as you saw earlier for Alexandria, Josh Tucker, the head coach, or the quarterback for the football team. His dad, Frank Tucker, the head coach for the Valley Cubs.
And there you saw the give from Hamby to Giovanni Mosley. He was one of the Weaver's players to watch. He will be a senior in the fall. Picked up a yard there, bring up a 2nd down and 9 for the Bearcats from the 36. Again, out of the shotgun. They'll fake the give, little flip out, and the pass is incomplete. As Hamby looking for number 34, Clapper. Can't make the connection. It'll bring up 3rd down and 9. And a chance for either Weaver to make a big conversion here for Alexandria's defense to hold.
Absolutely. And for Weaver, you'll see 2 quarterbacks. You'll see also Paul Hubbard come in there and line up as a quarterback. He's actually been their quarterback since he was a freshman. Played a little bit also in 8th grade. He's been a phenomenal guy. But then as Dalton Hamby has progressed, they're able to move Hubbard out to different positions. But he'll also line up and throw the ball a little bit, as we have a flag here before. It looks like either a false start or offsides.
So it'll be a dead ball foul, and it will be a false start against the Bearcats. That will be their first penalty. And looks as if the Bearcats are going to call a timeout with 3:59 to play here in this first quarter. Alexandria leading 6-0. Cubs opened the ball game, Gerhard, with a long drive, an 11-play drive that they gave over on downs deep inside Weaver territory, inside the red zone. But then after a couple of plays, Weaver fumbled it right back to Alexandria, and the Cubs only took 1 play to get it into the end zone, and that's been the only scoring so far tonight.
Yep, and really that's how this game has flowed so far. Not great field position for Weaver until this drive right here. So we'll see what Coach Daryl Hamby draws up for his unit. But after that turnover, really stuck in deep in their part of the field. Well, it's hard for Weaver to get out. Now Alexandria's defense with a 3rd and 12, 13 yards here. So we'll see if Weaver puts the ball in the air, which quarterback they go with. If they go with Hamby or if they go with Hubbard. Looks like Hamby. Number 12 will come out. We'll see what they draw up here.
So it's a 3rd down and 14 after the penalty. And he's going to look. He's going to throw. Got his man. Pass is complete for the first down all the way down to the Alexandria 45-yard line, down to Paul Hubbard.
This is exactly what I talked about, because Hubbard was their quarterback for such a long time. But as Hamby has progressed, one of the things that it did, it opened up Hubbard to be a playmaker elsewhere. They line him up as a running back. They've lined him up as a wing back. They try to get the ball in his hands in a lot of different ways. He's so versatile. He's also a big playmaker on their basketball team as well. So the evolution of Daryl Hamby has really helped out with the evolution and the versatility of Paul Hubbard, and Hubbard now lines up as the QB.
That was a 24-yard gain for the Bearcats. And here is Hubbard at quarterback, throwing for Hamby. They're just switching roles there.
You don't see that very often, where your quarterback can line up as your receiver, and then your receiver can line up back as your quarterback. But that speaks to the versatility of both of these guys. And they'll need them both. It looks like Hamby this time is commanding the offense, so it looks like he'll get the call here at quarterback. But what this does, I think, in the fall is that it forces teams throughout the week to prepare for 2 quarterbacks, 2 different styles, 2 different ways that they'll maneuver and run or throw the football.
2nd and 10. And now with the football is Hubbard. And Hubbard will be taken down from behind there by Kobe Woodruff, number 43 for the Cubs.
It's a great backside tackle there by Woodruff.
Picks up about a yard down to the 44. But again, Weaver going to find themselves with a 3rd down and 9. They had a 3rd down and 9, which became a 3rd down and 14 just a moment ago. find themselves in another 3rd and long from the 44.
See what they dial up here and what quarterback they'll go with. Every play is a fluid situation. This time it's Hamby.
So Hamby out of the gun. Takes a couple of steps back, throws, got a man, and he's got another first down. Complete over there to Maurice Goodman, number 1.
It's excellent pitch and catch here. His route was to go out, run past the sticks, and get the first down. He knew he was going to take a shot, and it's a good tackle there by Grayson Chafin, but not after Weaver picks up yet another first down on 3rd and long. So the 3rd down offense right now executed really well by the Bearcats.
So they pick up a first down on a 3rd and 14, that time on a 3rd down and 9. And they have a first down inside the Alexandria 35 at about the 34-yard line. This time, Hubbard's going to keep it coming to the near side, and he will be tripped up there after a gain of a couple.
Good job there sealing the edge for the Alexandria defense. Give a lot of credit to Romeo Dye. Once that play strung out, he understood that he had the inline as an extra defender, able to make the chop tackle there, come up with the big play for the Valley Cubs.
Play really only picked up about a half yard, so we'll call it 2nd down and 9. Bearcats going to send a couple of men wide either way, so 4 wides for Weaver. And Hamby's going to look. He's going to throw over the middle, and it's intercepted by Dye. Intercepted by Romeo Dye for the Cubs. Dye kind of running laterally, could never turn it upfield, but Alexandria will get the football. 2nd turnover of the night, and the Cubs have it at the 18.
It looks like Hamby just overshot his receiver by just a little bit, and it's really just amazing concentration there by Romeo Dye, because the hand of Cody Ortiz, number 3 for Weaver, was up in the air. Dye able to track the football, get it in his hands, recover it, and come back with a nice return there. So a great defensive play. 2 in a row for Romeo Dye. First on the open field tackle that set up a 3rd and long or 2nd and long situation, and then on 2nd and long he comes up with the pick, and much deserved smile there on the sideline for big number 22.
So the Cubs now will have it from the 18, and they'll line up in the wing tee, and about half of the right side of Alexandria's line moved. That's going to be a 5-yard step off against the Cubs.
Whenever stuff like that happens, you tend to think that there was two different calls there. Maybe one heard first call, and then the other one heard on 1 or first call or on 2. Plenty, as you said, half the offensive line there on one side of the ball heard one thing and cost them 5 yards.
So it'll be a 1st and 15 for the Valley Cubs from the 13-yard line. Bowie at quarterback, and Bowie with the give. And that'll be Chafin up to the 20. But Chafin able to pick up about 7 yards. He continues to be the leading rusher for Alexandria. 6 carries, 48 yards. The Cubs with a 2nd down. Ball just across the 20-yard line. They have to get up to the 28 to pick up the first down. So we'll call it 2nd, a long 7, short 8.
Talked about at the top of the telecast how Bowie would probably come in and play a little bit of quarterback. We saw that on the last play, and then Tucker is now back in. So just like Weaver, changing quarterbacks here for Alexandria.
Cubs out of the wing tee, and another flag thrown to the ground. But this one beginning to get a little sloppy, and it's going to be another false start against Alexandria.
Another costly penalty there, so 2 steps forward, 1 step back for the Valley Cubs as Romeo Dye, who just came up with the interception, enters the ball game. Josh Tucker will be the quarterback here on 2nd and about 13.
So 2nd down for the Cubs. Ball moved back just across the 15, not quite to the 16-yard line. Josh Tucker with the give here to Quentin Bowie, and Bowie out across the 25 up to the 27-yard line. Picks up about 11, maybe 12. Not quite enough for the first down, but it'll leave Alexandria in pretty good shape on third down.
Some pretty good blocking up front there by Alexandria's offensive line. Had the flow going one way and then come back with running back Bowie on the other side. It's a good shot there of that young man, a versatile young guy that will play a little bit of quarterback for this football team, play some running back as well. It looks like they will talk it over here. Actually, they'll just let the time run out. They'll take it to the second quarter.
Alexandria leads 6-0 over Weaver at the end of one. We'll take a break and then return here to JSU after this. This is the 2016 Calhoun County Spring Jam presented by Tony Sarah Ford.
Water is in a bit of trouble. Suspected of carrying harmful pollutants into community storm drains, stormwater faces a serious problem. When it rains, dirt, motor oil, excess fertilizer, and trash are washed into rivers, lakes, and streams. And a clean raindrop becomes an unwilling accomplice in the problem of water pollution. It's up to each of us to do our part. Visit cleanwatercampaign.com to learn more. Help protect our water.
For the finest quality foods and hundreds of specials every week, shop at Dorsey's Supermarket in downtown Oxford. Dorsey's has been your home for the highest quality and freshest meat in town since 1985, and nobody beats their famous Pick 5 deal. Mix and match your 5 favorite meat selections and pay only $19.99. And now you can enjoy your meat fresh out of the smoker. Pick up your smoked butts, ribs, or wings today. Dorsey's Supermarket, Main Street in Oxford. TV 24's coverage of the Calhoun County Spring Jam is brought to you by Oxford Secure Storage and by Dorsey's Supermarket.
Welcome back here to JSU Stadium as we begin the second quarter. And let's throw it down to Chase Robinson on the sideline.
All right, we got the Core Sports Pigskin Roundup T-shirts. Got the Alexandria cheerleaders here to throw them out. So y'all throw them out here in 3, 2, 1.
Those Pigskin Roundup T-shirts, I tell you what, on Friday nights, those things are very hot items, and we take them out to all the schools, and the cheerleaders have become used to throwing these things out. So now we get there, and that's one of the first things they ask if they've got those touchdown T-shirts, and I'm sure a lot of those fans have a few of those hanging in their closets.
Yeah, Christy and Jimmy Dodd there on our cameras will never be the same after Jimmy Dodd there on the. Hey, but Jimmy Dodd is a good luck charm here for Alexandria as Grayson Chafin is going to take it down the sidelines and score an Alexandria touchdown.
No flags on the field here, and this is the exact same play they ran with Quentin Bowie just a minute ago. What a phenomenal effort there. They grabbed his towel, but not his feet, and he takes it the distance. It's a phenomenal run, and I'll tell you what, he's probably having the best game so far of anybody. Broke 3 tackles in that sequence, got a great block down the field, and he does the rest and takes it in for the touchdown. Grayson Chafin so far having a huge game for the Alexandria Valley Cubs.
73-yard touchdown run makes it 12-0. And the Cubs will go for 2. Alexandria went for 2 a lot during the 2015 season after touchdowns. The kicking game was not where the Cubs would have liked for it to have been, and I think if you went back through the records, Alexandria had a very close to having a better percentage on going for 2 in the last football season than they did on kicking extra points.
It's a weird anomaly. You don't normally see that, but every now and again teams will go through cycles where you just don't have a kicker that you trust consistently. And so whenever that's the case, you work on your short yardage game, try to work on seeing if you can punch this thing from 3 yards out. As you said, the numbers worked out in their favor. And if you can gain 1 extra point from it, just like the 3-pointer in basketball, no point in taking a long 2 when you could step back and hit that three-point shot. So if you can get the two-point conversion with better consistency than you can the extra point, it actually works out in your favor to do just that.
So the Cubs, after the timeout, see how they'll line up to go for two. They're going to come out in the wing tee. Smitherman, the tight end, will be lined up to the right. And the Cubs will wait on the whistle. And there it is. And the two-point conversion. Luke Tucker is going to roll to his right, or I said Luke, that's Josh. Been used to saying Luke Tucker for 3 years. Josh will be taken down for the sack, and Alexandria's lead will hold at 12-0.
Quarterback on quarterback right there. Paul Hubbard comes in with the stop. You see as he heads back to the sideline, he's a big part of their offense. There you're seeing a big part of their defense as well. Paul Hubbard's been a playmaker for the Weaver Bearcats for many years. I remember him, I want to say as a 9th grader, 8th grader maybe, with the basketball team, and then they called upon him to be the quarterback a few years ago. Been the quarterback for a long time, and we've seen him in this game alone as a quarterback, as a wide receiver, and as a safety. They're making the big play on the two-point conversion for the Weaver Bearcats, and so far Weaver need to get something going momentum-wise offensively. They've had kind of spurts here and there, haven't been able to put it together for a full driving, try to get themselves in scoring position. And the turnovers have been big too. They turned it over at the 9-yard line earlier to set up the first score of the game by Grayson Chafin. He's got 2 scores on the game, having a huge day for the Bearcats, or for the Valley Cubs, I should say, and then the Bearcats will get the football back here.
Yeah, Alexandria has taken both those Weaver turnovers and cashed them in for touchdowns. And here is the kickoff by Prim. It will be fielded there by Cody Ortiz. And Weaver will take it from the 35-yard line. As you said, Gerhard, Weaver has had some bright moments, especially those 2 third down and longs that they converted. See if they can get something going here and get some momentum going against the Valley Cubs.
We are in full Friday night simulation mode right here with the bands out, the cheerleaders out. Saw the mascots for Ohatchee and Welborn earlier. Nice crowd for both teams today on this Thursday night.
So from the 35, here's a give and a big hit there at the line of scrimmage on the Bearcats' Tyreek Hall. Picked up about a yard out across the 35 out to about the 36-yard line. Earlier in the day, Welborn and Ohatchee on the scoreboard played to a 27-27 tie. The varsity played the first 3 quarters. Ohatchee won that one 19-13. And then the JVs played in the 4th quarter, ended up 27-27. Here's a quick strike. Pass is complete. And a little second effort takes him up across to about the 39-yard line.
A.J. Martin sticks him there at the very beginning, but you talked about that second effort. That's what got him a few more yards. That was stuck for a loss for a second, but good job there by Weaver, able to sneak it out there and make this 3rd and about 6 here. And this is kind of the magical down for Weaver if you want to point to one down where they've been successful. It's these 3rd and medium situations, 3rd and medium, 3rd and long situations. They've gone with they've gone with Hubbard at the quarterback in these situations. They'll do the same right here.
So 3rd down and 6 for the Bearcats. Out of the shotgun. Pass is thrown right on the money. Caught on the fly and taken for a first down up to the 50-yard line and just inside Alexandria territory.
Once again, the 3rd down momentum continues for Weaver, and that time Hubbard finds Kyle Clapper. And you said it, he hits him right in stride. He's able to take that momentum forward and pick up the first down.
So again, Weaver picking up on a 3rd down and long, 3rd down and 6. They got a first down to the Alexandria 49-yard line. This time the quarterback is going to roll right. Nothing there. Comes back, throws back the other way, get his man, and they'll have another first down. That looks like sandlot football, but you know what? It works for a first down and more.
That's exactly what Paul Hubbard gets you as a quarterback, because this is great backside defense by A.J. Martin, and then he loses control for just a little bit, but Paul Hubbard uses his athleticism, gets to the outside, able to hit his guy. But when you have a quarterback that can make plays with his feet, he's able to extend the plays out. Only a certain amount of time defenders can guard those guys out in the flats and in the secondary. And right there you saw a quarterback extend the play, and it really helped out.
First down, Bearcats got a little momentum going. And down inside the 20, down to about the 17-yard line. There goes Tyreek Hall, number 30. And these Bearcats getting what we talked about that they needed, a little momentum. They're driving on Alexandria.
Watch number 1 there. You saw him right there at the corner of your screen. That is Maurice Goodman. Came up with a big blocker along the outside there. That's just a simple option play, but when you run the ball to the outside, your receivers have to block out there. And Weaver did a really good job, and Goodman was the main catalyst out there to help bring up that first down.
First down now from the 16. They give it to Hall again. He's the hot guy, and he'll take it down to the 10-yard line. Just straight up the middle. See him take the handoff there. Stumbles over one of the Alexandria players and takes it down to the 10.
Pretty nice momentum here for the Weaver Bearcats. Kind of really started on that third down play where they were able to get some offensive momentum going, as Hubbard now lines up for second down.
And you hear Jared Holland's Weaver band trying to get the team fired up. And this time Hubbard at quarterback will take it down inside the 10, down to the 9-yard line.
Looks like he lost his footing right there. Quentin Bowie right in position to make the play there for the Alexandria Valley Cubs. And once again now Weaver faces third down. Not where they're comfortable. Usually they're comfortable 3rd and 5 or longer. It's right here is 3rd and 3, and it's a key situation right here in the red zone. When you get down in this area, you want to come up with points. Essentially, you want to come up with touchdowns, obviously, but if they can just get a few yards here, they'll get a fresh set of downs in order to try to punch this one in.
They need the 6-yard line to pick up the first down, and the Bearcats, I believe, called timeout. Yes, a little indecision there. Was it Weaver? Was it Alexandria? Yes, it was Weaver. So with 7:47 to play here in the second, Alexandria leads 12-0, but Weaver has it 3rd down and 2 from the Valley Cub 8-yard line. As you see Coach Hamby there taking full use of that timeout to give instructions to his team.
One of the reasons why the Spring Jamboree is a lot of fun to watch is because a lot of these matchups you'll see in the regular season. You won't see these two teams play each other, not Alexandria and Weaver, but you will see Weaver and Welborn, who played last. You will see Weaver and Ohatchee, who played earlier. You will see Welborn and Ohatchee. They'll play also in the regular season. White Plains and Weaver have played before in the regular season in a non-region game. So a lot of these cross-county rivalries, they don't count here in the spring, but there's lots to look forward to as you move forward and look ahead towards the regular season, because what you're seeing now on the field is what you'll probably have to scout against come August and September.
So 3rd down and a couple for the Bearcats, and Alexandria is going to hold them here, as that was Hamby at quarterback, and just nowhere to, from the time he snapped that football, there was nowhere for Dalton Hamby to go.
The guy we've talked about really all game long, Grayson Chafin, is the first guy on the football, and he stuffs it right there. It's a great job. It's just a simple read there by Chafin. Chafin athletic enough. Mostly he's coming from his defensive end spot to make the play there and setting up 4th down and short, and it looks like they will go for it here. So an interesting move by Daryl Hamby to go for it here on 4th down. Last time they were in this area, they fumbled the football.
4th and 4 from the 10. And Hamby's rolls to his right, throws into the end zone. It is incomplete, almost intercepted by Alexandria, but it's incomplete. And so the Valley Cubs will hold. Weaver able to drive the football down from the 35 all the way down as far as the Alexandria 8, but they can't get it in the end zone, can't get points. And the Valley Cubs will have it just shy of the 10-yard line.
That would have been a turnover either way, but Romeo Dye, who you're seeing right here in this shot, made the dive. Great coverage by Romeo Dye. He already has an interception in this game, wanted to get another one right there. And had he got that, that would have been a touchback, brought the ball out to about the 20-yard line, but they'll start 15 yards further back. Try to look to put together a 90-yard drive here after a long drive on their last possession.
Josh Tucker at quarterback. And here's a give to Chafin, and he's got a lot of room again. Down these sidelines, and he is, gone. But then tackled by Maurice Goodman down at about the 25-yard line. Goodman, you see, had the angle. Here's Chafin motoring down the sidelines. There's the last chance. And give a lot of credit there to Maurice Goodman, number 1. He saved a touchdown there for the Bearcats.
Absolutely. Great blocking along the inside. You there see number 60 kind of leading the way for him, Skylar Hawkins. And you pointed out the effort here. That's just an effort play, and defense largely is that, especially on those long runs. And we've seen Chafin break them out for as long as 70 yards plus there. He was looking to go 90 yards, but Maurice Goodman puts an end to that one and lets his defense live to play another play another down here.
First down now for Alexandria from the 23. And here is the give on the wingback reverse. A.J. Martin to the 10. A.J. will scamper in for an Alexandria touchdown. 23 yards away, A.J. Martin on his first carry of the ball game. And he gets in for the touchdown. You'll see it right here.
Good spin move there by A.J. Martin, really showing his strength and his versatility here. Watch him break 2 tackles, spin, break a 3rd tackle. A fantastic block up front. I believe that was Romeo Dye on a block that sprang him loose. And a first carry, as you said, the leading tackler on this football team comes up with the big play on offense.
So the Cubs try for 2 coming up. On both of their previous times, Josh Tucker has intended to throw into the end zone. The first one he got his throw off. Second time he was sacked, and this time as he's looking for Smitherman. Pass is incomplete, but there is a flag down in the end zone. So let's see if we have an interference call as they sort things out.
Yeah, it looks like they'll get Marcus Morale for the pass interference here in the back of the end zone, unless they'll get with both officials, because the official from the far side threw it. So we'll see what he saw. They'll get together with the back judge, and indeed it is pass interference on the defense. So we'll have one untimed down here as Marcus Morale doing everything he can to get Smitherman, but ran into him a little bit too early, and that's a pass interference call for Alexandria. We talked earlier about this ground game, and I'm sure you have to be super impressed by what you've seen so far out of both Grayson Chafin and then also now with A.J. Martin.
Definitely. A.J. Martin with the touchdown on the first time he caught the football. And Chafin 189 yards on only 8 carries. Here's a give to the fullback, number 44. Can't get in there is Jerry Tant. And so it remains at 18-0. The Valley Cubs with the lead. With 6:16 to play here in the second. 2 plays, 90 yards for Alexandria, only 38 seconds off the clock. So that's a 2-play drive for a touchdown. They had a 1-play drive earlier.
Right.
But the Cubs have also shown that they can grind it out on the first drive of the ball game. Kept the football for almost half of the first quarter. So the Cubs have done it in striking quickly and also been able to sustain a drive.
Lots of versatility here with the running game, and that's what you want to see. You don't want to see one-dimensional. You want to be able to see, grind them, drive them, have 3, 4, 5-minute drives if you can, and then if you need to hit the home run, you want to be able to see that you can hit the home run, and Grayson Chafin has showed that earlier. And that 2-play drive was really set up by his long run that was tripped at the very end by Maurice Goodman, but then cleaned up really well by A.J. Martin. So lots of versatility here with the Valley Cubs, what they're trying to do on offense with their running game.
So the Cubs set to kick it off to the Bearcats, and there you see the 3 deep men for Weaver. Prim to kick off for Alexandria. And it will be fielded down at the 9-yard line. But we were not returning kicks in this ball game, so Weaver will get it from the 35. Bearcats able to move the football on their last drive, but couldn't get any points as the drive stalled down inside the Alexandria 10. See if they can pick up where they left off here with a nice drive here before halftime.
A lot of their success in their last drive came via Paul Hubbard getting the ball outside to his different receivers, and so we'll see what they line up here as we have about 6:14 left in the second quarter.
And here's the throw. Pass is complete for the first down out to Cody Ortiz. That was Hubbard at quarterback. There you see him throwing. Nice catch there by Ortiz. And there's a flag line down at the 47-yard line. Another one, the 47, and another one on the other side of the field back at the 35. So as they have a little conference. So we have what, a substitution penalty and a face mask, and they are offsetting. So we'll replay the down.
A pretty tough break there for Weaver. Substitution infraction because they would have got this. They would have got this nice play tacked on with the face mask, and this is about as easy as a call as you'll get right there. As the hands go straight to the face, but the substitution infraction takes away all of that. So if it wasn't for that 12th man running off the field, they would have had the ball in great field position.
So now from the 35, Hubbard's going to roll to his left. He's going to throw to Ortiz. Ball comes loose again. Another penalty flag goes down back in the backfield. So let's see after we sort all this out.
That was essentially the same play. Back to Cody Ortiz. Running back on the outside, and it looks like once again it's another flag here on Weaver.
So it'll be holding against the Bearcats. So that's some tough luck for Weaver. As you mentioned, had they not had that substitution penalty, not only would they have gotten the first down, they would have gotten a face mask. Now, after having to replay the down, they're going to get a 10-yard from the spot of the foul holding penalty. Is going to really put them in a hole.
Exactly, and just like that in 2 plays, you're so far behind the sticks here, and they're talking to the Alexandria defenders here. It looks like they had a couple of different penalties, and so they'll take. Looks like they'll take the ineligible receiver downfield.
So, as we said, after we sort all that out, the down marker is still showing
it's still showing first down, and so
yeah, there we go.
Okay, yeah, so they're going to decline the original penalty and take the loss of down there.
Yep. So that will make it 2nd and 10 from the 35. Hubbard at quarterback. And he will throw, and the pass is incomplete up at about the 45-yard line.
And for the 3rd time in a row, let's do it again. Another penalty flag here. We'll see if we can sort this one out.
This penalty flag, as have the last 3, been thrown back in the Weaver backfield. And it is a personal foul against the Bearcats. So that should be a 15-yard step off.
And that was in play, and they didn't say what the personal foul was. I don't know if it was. At this point, just not even going to speculate. Just let it ride as is. 15 yards back, and once again, we go from Weaver could have the ball right now at about by the Alexandria 45-yard line or so. And now they see themselves in the shadow of their own end zone, needing to get to their 45-yard line.
So moves the football all the way back to the 13. And they have to get to the 45. So it is a 3rd and 32 for the Bearcats. Hubbard at quarterback with a quick give. And up to the 15-yard line, and gain of only a couple of yards there for the Bearcats.
At that point, you just kind of take what you can get, bring up 4th down. And I don't know if they'll simulate the punt here, or they'll just, or if they'll really punt it off like they've done on kickoffs. First time this situation's come up. Other 4th downs, they've gone for it. I would doubt Weaver tries to go for it here. Looks like they'll bring on the punting unit.
So it is 4th down for the Bearcats. The ball is placed just across the 15. Clock is rolling down to 5:05, 5:04 to play before halftime. So they will line up in punt formation. He will get the kick away, and Alexandria's number 16, A.J. Martin, will field it at the 45.
So just like the kickoffs, they'll punt, but no return. And there's no return on the kickoffs either, just to get the marks for the return units, get the kicker some work, and also get the returners some varsity reps, so to speak, with kickoff returns. The punter in that situation was Maurice Goodman. Taking a look there at the student section for the Alexandria Valley Cubs. Close to the end of the school year, so I'm pretty sure there's a lot more energy in that unit with a very, very happy student section that was just doing this back in November as a big defensive play for Weaver as 2 more flags come out. That's just kind of been the story here of the second quarter. Number 66 for Weaver, Brandon Boyce, the rising junior, came up with the tackle. They will call a
face mask against the Bearcats.
Yep. And we'll take a look at it right here, see if it came on this tackle. And
there it is.
Yep. I don't know if you could see it any easier than that right there. It's about as obvious as it comes. He was in great position, though. Give a lot of credit, though, to Brandon Boyce. He'll just have to have hand discipline, start aiming lower, because a good play like that, it's a great shot there by Tony Caveman Castaneda. Fantastic job with high school football games on the Pigskin Roundup. Shot a lot of JSU games right here on this field. He's got a lot of work in over the years.
We even got a grin out of him there. Here's a give to Chase Smitherman, and he is going to motor down for an Alexandria touchdown. 45-yard touchdown run by Chase Smitherman. Picks up Alexandria's 4th touchdown of the night.
When you hear tough, you sometimes think slow, and then Chase Smitherman blows that out of the water. Quick run here by Smitherman, finds the open field. He gets into the end zone before he's tackled there by number 20 for the Weaver Bearcats, Giovanni Mosley, one of the guys we highlighted earlier, but this is another guy we highlighted at the top of the broadcast. Chase Smitherman coming in with his first touchdown of the game, and as you said, the 4th on the day by way of the ground game by the Alexandria Valley Cubs. And 3rd different guy to score a touchdown in this game, too, so once again pointing to just how many ways the Valley Cub team can hit you.
Cubs out of the eye. Here's a toss, and this 2-point conversion, it will not be good. He was going for the pylon, but couldn't make the angle work, and so Alexandria is now 0 for 4 on 2-point conversions. They lead by the score of 24-0.
Pretty good job here by the Weaver defense, sealing off on the outside. Same guy that made the tackle on the back end, just throws him out of bounds.
Bowie just couldn't. He was aiming for the pylon and the angle, just couldn't make it work. I need to correct myself. I mentioned before I get in trouble back in the Valley, I mentioned earlier about that I said Chase Smitherman was a 3rd generation. He is not. He is a 4th generation player. I thought of I missed a grandfather, and I said Hugh Smitherman was his grandfather is actually his great-grandfather. And so 4 generations of Smithermans have come through the Valley.
Yeah, you can't get the lineage wrong there. You skip the whole generation there. But once again, I mean, they breed good football players and a lot of pride in the community as well. And it's good to see Chase Smitherman get there into the end zone. Like we said earlier, he's the third different Valley Cub to score so far. Grayson Chafin's got 2 touchdowns. A.J. Martin's got 1 off the heels of a Chafin long run, and then Smitherman gets 1 into the end zone as well. One of the things that's really admirable about all these players, or a lot of these players, they run both ways. We've seen guys play on the offensive side and the defensive side. See Quentin Bowie along this defensive unit. See Josh Tucker playing in the secondary. Tucker's now just now coming out the field.
So first down for the Bearcats now from the 35. 4.5 minutes to play before halftime. Weaver desperately needs something positive here. Hubbard's going to roll to his left. Going to cut it back, come all the way back across the field, and will pick up 9 yards up across the 40 to the 44.
When the play breaks down, this is where he's the best. Just improvising and coming across the backside of the defense. Got a couple of good blocks out there, and not enough for the first down, but second and short. Watch these backside blocks. I'm sure they like it when Hubbard comes back across the middle. They're able to get some good hits. Had that replay in the video room a few times, and he's best when the play breaks down. You can kind of make something out of nothing.
Second down and 1 from the 44. Out of the shotgun. Hubbard with the give, picking up the first down and into Alexandria territory. And down to the Cub 45, there goes Hall. You see Hall work the right side, had a little running room. Nice run down to the Cub 45.
Hall kind of reminds me of Weaver's counter to Chase Smitherman, a guy that they lean on to run the football, but he's a tough football player. Smitherman might be a little bit taller, but they asked him to do just about the same things, get those tough yards, run in between the tackles.
And here's another, they'll fake it to Hall and throw, and the nice catch down there for another first down inside the 30 and down to about the 29-yard line. There's the fake. Nice throw. So Weaver able to move the football. It's just they've been hurt by turnovers and giving up big plays to Alexandria.
Right. Both times they got into the end zone, come away with no points. And that time a good read there by Paul Hubbard, getting the ball to the outside. We'll see if they can punch this one in.
And here's the give to, or Hubbard keeps it rather. And he'll pick up yardage down close to the 20-yard line, maybe about the 21. So it'll bring up a second down and a couple of yards. They got to get inside the 20 down to about the 19 to pick up the first down.
A little different formation here for Weaver with 3 receivers out to the far right side.
And here's a give to Hall again, and he will have the first down inside the 19 and down to the 18. There you see the Alexandria Brain Trust, head coach Frank Tucker, defensive coordinator Gerald Shaw on his left. This Alexandria coaching staff has been together for a long, long time. Snap out of the shotgun, and there's a whistle as Hubbard throws. The whistle will stop the play. There are actually 2 penalty flags down, one on each end of the sidelines. Got to think there's some kind of movement there along the line of scrimmage. It's going to be offsides against Alexandria. So that will give Weaver a nice opportunity here. They'll have first down and 5 from the 13-yard line.
Looks like on that play they were setting up Cody Ortiz on the slant route. And a lot of times when plays break down like that just before the snap, you'll see teams go right back to that. So we'll check here the formation. It's the exact same formation that they had earlier. See if they go back to Ortiz.
Hubbard is going to fake the give, and he'll keep it down to about the 12. Minute 38 to play here. Clock is rolling. Alexandria with a big lead over the Bearcats.
The score's a bit of a misnomer if you take the style of play because Weaver's been in here before. This is the third time in this part of the field for the Bearcat offense.
14-yard line, the line of scrimmage. Hubbard looking. Got a man. No, he cannot make the catch down at the 5-yard line. He had it there. He was looking for Ortiz. See the throw here right in his bread basket. Can't haul it in, and the pass is incomplete.
2 plays ago when the play ran dead, that's the exact same concept they ran earlier. They went away from it, and they try to go back to it. But here's their bread and butter down. Here's 3rd down at about 6 for Weaver. They've had a lot of success here on these 3rd down plays.
They got to get to the 8 to pick up the 1st down. Hubbard rolls, gets away from the Alexandria defender, throws into the end zone, but throws it a little bit too far, and now a late penalty flag will come down to the ground. He had a couple of men in the end zone wide open, but overthrew both of them. And we're going to have another substitution penalty against the Bearcats. It's what, the 3rd one?
Yep.
So as they talk to the Alexandria captains, the infraction is for having 12 men on the field for Weaver. Bearcats are ready to run a play, and they haven't stepped the yardage off. And Alexandria will decline that penalty. That's kind of what I was waiting on to see if they took the yardage or declined it, which would make it 4th down. So Alexandria will decline the penalty. It'll be 4th down and 6 from the 14. Bearcats with Hamby back in there. Hamby throws, and we're going to have a pass interference penalty, I believe, here.
This will be unfortunate for the Valley Cub defense because it looks like that was going to be incomplete. And the defensive back couldn't see who it was back there. Made the hit on the receiver. Watch here as the ball seems to float higher than it looks like it wasn't going to be a catchable ball. That looks like number 15, Joe Tucker. And the referee throws the flag right next to him, right where he leaves no doubt that, hey, we're calling the spell on you. He throws it right there at his shoulder pad. So an automatic 1st down there. I like the effort, and I'm pretty sure the coaches like the effort on the play there. But on that point, it looks like it was going to be incomplete either way.
Joe's the youngest of the Tucker boys, wearing number 15. So Weaver will get a 1st down now, down to the 7-yard line. And here's the give on 1st down, and Hall, I'm not sure he even made it back to the line of scrimmage. He's going to lose a yard back to the 8.
One of the toughest things to do is run on this Alexandria defense inside the 20-yard line. So many games I've covered over the last few years, it's just teams have more success if they try to run to the outside. A game reminds me of the Mortimer Jordan game in overtime. One of the first plays was an outside run. It's so hard to run on these guys on the inside. They're just so disciplined on the front 7.
2nd and goal now from the 8. Hubbard's going to throw into the end zone. Again, puts it on the money, and his receiver can't come up with it. That one was intended for Ortiz. Can't haul it in, and you'll see as Hubbard rolls left, throws, got him, just can't make the catch.
Yeah, Ortiz is mad at himself about that one. He knows that was his ball to have for a touchdown. And they like that play. They've gone to it now 3, or if you count the time that the play didn't count because of the incomplete pass, or because of the false start penalty. That's 4 different times they've gone to that exact same play, one-on-one to the outside with the slant route.
So on 3rd down, they throw. This time, they get a touchdown. Throw in the catch for a touchdown by Kyle Clapper.
Pretty good job here by Clapper, just getting out to the flats, just giving himself just enough room to be able to get to the corner there. Good adjustment on the route. It's a great ball there by Paul Hubbard. He's able to sneak in for the touchdown, the first points for Weaver. So 3 times down on this side of the field, 3 times getting into the red zone, and they score their first touchdown of the game with 13 seconds to go in the half.
So the Bearcats now line up for the extra point. 24-6 your score pending the extra point. And the kick is up, and the kick is good. So it is Alexandria 24, Weaver 7. 13 seconds remaining here before the halftime break. So Weaver will kick off to Alexandria, and 15 plays. How impressive is that, Gerhard?
Very.
65 yards, consumed 4 minutes, almost 4.5 minutes. And the Bearcats get their first points of the ball game.
Very, very impressive drive there by Weaver, and much needed. They got down there a few times, had a couple 8-9 play drives, and that's one of the things that I'm sure Coach Daryl Hamby will stress with his team a little bit later, that, hey guys, we've been down here before. We just didn't take advantage of the opportunity.
So the Bearcats, number 75, will kick it off. He'll tee it up at the 40-yard line. Back deep for Alexandria, even though they're not going to return it. See number 17, Baker. And here is the kick. And will be fielded by the Cubs at the 11. It'll be Dye who fields it, but they'll take it back out to the 35-yard line. And let's see if Alexandria will just run a play and take this one to the locker room with 11 seconds here to play in the second quarter. There you see the Weaver cheerleaders on the sidelines cheering on their team.
Just about a full Friday night atmosphere with this Calhoun County Spring Jamboree, with cheerleaders out here as well as the mascots, the bands as well. So it's a great night for football here, and then we will have our other Spring Jamboree scheduled for tomorrow. Went ahead and got ahead of the weather and scheduled that for Saturday. The games will start at noon. White Plains will play at noon, and then Pleasant Valley and Pisgah play at about 3 o'clock. All those games live right here on TV 24. Looks like Chase Robinson is chasing down Daryl Hamby, the Weaver head coach, getting a couple thoughts from him before his team breaks for halftime. Chase?
All right, well, Coach, a couple weeks of spring training and a half of football. What's your thoughts so far?
Well, we just made too many mistakes. 2 turnovers against a good team like Alexandria. We can't do that. And, you know, a lot of penalties. I think we had a 30-yard penalty. You cannot do that against a good team. But I am proud of my guys for keep fighting, and I think we corrected those mistakes. So we just got to try to win the next quarter. That's what we're going to try to do.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right,
good luck.
Appreciate it.
Coach Daryl Hamby, the head coach for the Weaver Bearcats. His team trails Alexandria 24-7 here at the halftime break. You're watching the 2016 Calhoun County Spring Jam presented by Tony Sarah Ford. And there you see the Valley Cubs' Grayson Chafin on one of his couple of touchdowns. Here's Chase Smitherman motoring down for his touchdown. More football coming up. in just a moment here on TV 24.
Oxford Secure Storage has now expanded with over 140 units. Oxford Secure Storage now has the largest selection of climate-controlled units in the area. All sizes, both climate and non-climate controlled units, are available with state-of-the-art amenities. All access ways are paved and under 24-hour high-tech surveillance. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will help you through the entire rental process. Come see for yourself the extra measures Oxford Secure Storage takes for your security.
Why do so many people choose Riverview Regional Medical Center? Reason number one, ER Extra. ER Extra is extra fast emergency room care. You'll be seen by a doctor or medical clinician in no time flat. ER Extra.
Extra fast, extra easy, extra great emergency care.
ER Extra. One of the many reasons you choose Riverview Regional Medical Center. Close by, far better.
TV24's coverage of the Calhoun County Spring Jam is brought to you by Oxford Secure Storage and by Dorsey Supermarket.
Welcome back here to the friendliest campus in the South, Jacksonville State University, where we are at halftime. Alexandria leading Weaver 24-7 here in the Calhoun County Spring Jamboree. 6-0. Alexandria led after one period of play, and then the Valley Cubs picking up 3 touchdowns in the second quarter to go up to a 24-0 lead before Weaver scored right before halftime to make it a 24-7 ball game. And it's been a good game. I think Coach Hamby Gerhard had hit the nail on the head. He's got a lot of good things to talk about to his team at halftime, even though they trail by 17 points. They moved the football on Alexandria. Just a couple of turnovers. They were able to convert on a couple of third down and longs, show that they could move the football. They've got to take it one play at a time, try to get back in this ball game here in the third quarter.
Right. The score of the game doesn't tell you the story of the game. The score of the game tells you the result at the end of the drive. And Weaver's been moving the football a bunch of times, got the ball down exactly where they wanted it, executed some offense, really did a great job on third down, especially on third down and long, converted at least 4 or 5 there in the first 2 quarters. But then the drive stalled late in the drive. 2 things for Weaver. Number 1, their offense doing pretty good. They need to take care of the football. Number 2, the defense needs to stop giving up the big plays. That's where Alexandria's really hurt them. 2 huge runs by Grayson Chafin kind of highlighted that play. That highlighted the first half, and then a couple of turnovers there for the Alexandria defense. So lots of things to work on for both clubs. But so far with Weaver, I've been really impressed with how they've been flowing so far in this game. And let's take a look at what Weaver has ahead of them. They have the second half of this game, but they'll also have a full schedule coming up in 2016. Robert?
Yeah, they open up on August 19th with Hayden. Travel down to Talladega County to play BB Homer on August 26th. September 2nd, they take a break and then move back into region play September 9th at Welborn. September 16th, another region game at home against Ohatchee. Then the long trip down to Locust Fork on September 23rd. There's a big one. September 30th, they travel up to Field of Champions to take on the Piedmont Bulldogs in a region game. October 7th at home with Glencoe. back-to-back home games. October 14th, Randolph County, a trip to Pleasant Valley on October 21st, and then October 28th to home to finish the regular season against Coach Jonathan Miller's Sachs Wildcats. So that is probably as tough a 3A region as there is in the state of Alabama.
You're absolutely right. We talked about two teams that we saw here today, Wellborn and Ohatchee, and if anybody saw anything out of that game, one of the things you take away is that Ohatchee is now a legitimate threat to make the playoffs in this region. So when before you might have looked at Ohatchee, this is a 2 or 3 team race for those last 2 spots. It's now turned maybe to a 4-team race. Then you throw Randolph County in there because of the realignment, because of the way the AHSAA realigned these schools. Randolph County, who made a strong run last year, is also now in that region. So an upgraded Pleasant Valley team, the 3A defending state champion in Piedmont, and then Wellborn and Ohatchee. I mean, there's no gimmies as far as the region goes, and then a very, very tough out-of-conference schedule or out-of-region schedule with B.B. Comer, Locust Fork, and then, of course, the Battle of Highway 431 with the Sachs Wildcats there to end the season. So a very, very tough schedule for Daryl Hamby and his bunch, one that's highlighted by a lot of good games.
So a tough schedule there for the Bearcats. There you see the Bearcat mascot. And I think we have the Alexandria schedule coming up. Alexandria is open on the 19th. They open up on August 26th at Jacksonville. And then you're going to see some differences in this Alexandria schedules and be some teams that are not familiar foes for Alexandria as the region has changed pretty significantly. September 2nd, the Valley Cubs will open up region play with Arab, making the trip down to Lucasdale Stadium. September 9th, a trip up to Boaz. September 16th at home against Etowah. Cleburne County back on Alexandria's schedule. That a lot of folks will be excited to see that. Those two teams had some battles back during the 1990s when both of them were really powers in Class 4A football. So that's not a region game. But Cleburne County back on the Alexandria schedule. September 30th, back into region play, a long trip up to the northern part of Alabama to play Scottsboro. October 7th, Douglas comes to Lucasdale Stadium. October 14th, Guntersville. And then on October 21st at Crossville. So a very different region schedule for Alexandria, and that's a tough region when you look at it. Arab is tough, Boaz is tough, Etowah always tough. Scottsboro has had some problems the last few years. Douglas more of a basketball school than a football school, but then Guntersville always a class team. But when they were in Class 4A, they're a class team in Class 5A as well, and then Crossville, that program that has won a state championship. I'm not sure. I'm almost positive Alexandria and Crossville have never played in football, but Crossville has won a state championship. They know how to win, and Alexandria will make the trip up to finish their regular season.
Yeah, this is a very, very interesting region. You talked about it earlier, how when they moved out of that, when the reclassification happened, one of the things that was the eye-opener is what would happen with Anniston, because when Anniston dropped down from 5A to Class 4, it kind of broke up that region with Anniston, Alexandria, Lincoln, St. Clair County, Mortimer Jordan. That region, number one, it was tough, but two, you had a few rivalries there. You had Alexandria and Lincoln play, which was an interesting rivalry, and Alexandria Anniston obviously every year was a fun one to watch. And now we're playing teams like Douglas and Scottsboro and some of the other teams. So it'll be interesting to see over the course of the next 2 years to watch these teams come by the Death Valley and see how they stack up against these Alexandria Valley Cubs there, and we'll see if they can make another run here in 2016.
We're going to take a break, and then we'll return here to JSU Stadium. You're watching the 2016 Calhoun County Spring Jam, presented by Tony Sarah Ford.
As a social worker, my cousin devotes her career to helping others. But when she was diagnosed with cancer, she was the one who needed help. She needed a hospital with an accredited cancer program and the latest in technology and care options, plus a compassionate team of doctors, nurses, and counselors with treatments that fit her schedule. So where did she find all that?
Right here at RMC.
For the finest quality foods and hundreds of specials every week, shop at Dorsey's Supermarket in downtown Oxford. Dorsey's has been your home for the highest quality and freshest meat in town since 1985, and nobody beats their famous Pick 5 deal. Mix and match your 5 favorite meat selections and pay only $19.99. And now you can enjoy your meat fresh out of the smoker. Pick up your smoked butts, ribs, or wings today. Dorsey's Supermarket, Main Street in Oxford.
Last year, I challenged our relocation team to be even better. Their response was, it will cost you your 42-year-old mustache. Today, we're the only platinum-recognized Carter's USA broker in the state of Alabama. I sure miss that mustache.
Family Savings is proud to bring you Kasasa. What's Kasasa? It's like never getting surprised by an ATM fee. Bank local.
And there you see the Alexandria players back onto the field and going through their stretches as they get ready for the third quarter. And the coach at the left side of the screen, that's Jason Johnson, the head basketball coach at Alexandria. And there's the other end zone, the Weaver Bearcats, as both teams are making their way back out onto the field. Alexandria with a 24-7 lead over the Weaver Bearcats. And Gerhard, just to touch a little bit more on what we were talking about before the break, first looking at Weaver's region that they will play in 2016 and 2017, I don't think there's any question that the Piedmont Bulldogs are the class of that region, one of the best programs in Class 3A in the state of Alabama. Glencoe was at a point where they were giving Piedmont a run for their money, but yet you have a situation there where Lee Osmond has left as the head football coach, moved down to be an assistant at Oxford. You wonder how that transition will affect the Glencoe program. You have Welborn, who we talked about, that played in the game just prior to this one. Jeff Smith has established Welborn as a perennial playoff team. And then Randolph County, another team that is knows something about getting to the state playoffs. You mentioned Ohatchee is a contender, I believe, to make the playoffs this year. So that's a tough region for Weaver to play in. Give us some thoughts about the toughness of that region.
Yeah, it's really, really tough because even from here, you can't forecast 1, 2, 3, 4. I think if you were to try to forecast it, obviously you would give the leg up to the Piedmont Bulldogs, not only the region champion, but the Class 3A state champion that returns their starting quarterback and a large part of that offense, and as well as their defense. And then you look at a team like Glencoe. There's a lot of question marks there, but it's a team now that expects to win. There's a lot of guys on that roster who just 2 years ago were a field goal away from beating Madison Academy, just a couple of yards away. We talked about just how close Alexandria was against Mortimer Jordan. In the same respect, Glencoe was with Madison Academy just a couple of years ago, and then now they have a coaching change. They have a new head coach there with the Yellow Jackets, so we'll see how they go. And then Randolph County is a team that now bumps into their region, a team that last year went to the semifinals in Class 2A, a step away from their playoffs. So you have all these teams that have been in the playoffs over the last 4 years, and then a team like Weaver, who's been in the playoffs the last 3 seasons. Can they now wiggle their way in with even more tough competition? With only 4 spots open, each and every game becomes really, really important.
And then when you look at Alexandria's schedule for 2016, I think one of the things that Alexandria is still feeling their way in Class 5A. They were 4A from 1984 all the way up until 2 years ago, so never changed classifications. Finally bumped up to a couple of years in 5A, and now this fall will be the 3rd year. But the region changes, and the thing is I think that is very interesting is that Alexandria, when they made the move up to 5A, they had to find some new rivals. They were just beginning to get a rivalry with Mortimer Jordan, thanks to those great games last year. But Mortimer Jordan moves out of the region. You mentioned about Lincoln and Anniston. At least there were some familiar faces there in that 5A region.
Right.
They move out. So the region is going to be very different for Alexandria. There's going to be a lot of long trips. We mentioned Scottsboro and a lot of long trips to Arab coming to Alexandria. That's some of the things that kind of jump out to me. But also Cleburne County coming back onto to Alexandria's schedule. Cleburne County was and probably still is Alexandria's biggest rival. The Cubs have a lot of rivals, but Cleburne County is probably a half step or so above on the rung there, above maybe a Jacksonville or some of those that are big rivals for Alexandria.
Right.
Cleburne County still in 4A, but one of Alexandria's non-region games, and that one will be you can bet on a packed stadium that night.
Absolutely, and there's so many Valley Cub fans and Tiger fans that remember all those old school rivalries. So many huge names that have made their mark on the next level and then also on the NFL level have come out of those rivalry games. Lots of state championships, lots and lots of pride, and it even speaks to it, and I don't think he'll mind me talking about this. Coach Michael Short for Cleburne County, he texted me earlier today asking me what time Alexandria plays and what time all this gets underway. Number one, obviously to scout to see what his team comes up against, but I honestly think that he just is interested, and I think that there's always been that mutual respect, number one, for each other's programs, and I think that they're kind of mirror images of each other. I would say that those two programs that have a lot of pride, a lot of tradition, and a coach that's been there for a very long time, an established coach, it'll be interesting to see with all the changes on their schedule, that change is kind of a change back to the familiar, and it'll be fun to watch there in that non-region game in Week 5.
You know, you're talking about that mutual respect. I think when you compare that Alexandria-Cleburne County rivalry, it reminds me maybe of an Alabama-Tennessee, maybe an Auburn-Georgia. Not to say that the rivalry doesn't get testy at times, but there is a mutual respect between the two schools.
Absolutely, and they play a lot of the same kind of football. They play a lot of just hand in the dirt, try to get, establish the running game, and then fantastic running backs. And then if you just started to name the names that have played in that game, just you could even go last names if you just want to go, with Campbell, Prothro, Tucker, Bates, Todd Bates. There's so many. I mean, you can go on for days and days and days with how many great athletes have come out of this rivalry. And then I think it's a great test because if you just take the last 10 seasons, both these teams are perennial powered playoff teams. And so both teams, obviously, they play in different classifications. One's in 4A and one's in 5A. We'll get to see a great test to see where they stack up against one another as they move forward in their individual seasons. So it won't be a region game, and it obviously doesn't have the implications of a semifinal game or of a quarterfinal game in the playoffs, but still fun to see those two teams back hooking up one-on-one with each other with all the changes that's going on with the Alexandria schedule.
And we're just about ready to play football. Alexandria will kick off to the Weaver Bearcats to get our third quarter underway. And there is the whistle, and we will wait for the leg of Trey Prim. He puts the leg into it and will sail the football down to the 11-yard line, but they'll bring it out to the 35, and there Weaver will put it into play. 1st and 10 from their own 35.
At last check, both Coach Hamby and Coach Tucker wanted to do 3 quarters with the varsity unit and then a quarter with the JV unit. It looks like most of the guys that we saw in the first 2 quarters are back there on the field, so this will essentially be another varsity quarter here. So a great chance to see kind of the ones-on-ones, as they call it, the A's on A's, the varsity units matching up against one another for the last 12 minutes here before the JV guys get back on the field.
So the Bearcats will go with Hamby, Dalton Hamby at quarterback to start the third quarter. He's going to throw long, and he's got a man complete down at the 35, inside the 30, and down to the 29, maybe the 28-yard line goes Maurice Goodman. Thought we might have had a little push off there. The officials didn't see it that way, and they get a nice completion down to the 28-yard line. That's a 37-yard gain for Weaver on the first play of the third quarter. And they have a first down at the Cub 28.
Second time there, Weaver's gone to the air and got some big yardage out of it. That's how Maurice Goodman able to get some separation.
And here is the give. Hall inside the 25, and Hall will be down to the 24-yard line. He's going to give, run it straight ahead. And one of the Valley Cub players able to grab him by the ankle, slow him down till the reinforcements got there, but he able to pick up about 4, maybe 5 yards. Brings up second down for the Bearcats. Now Hubbard in at quarterback. And Hubbard's going to roll left. He's going to throw. He's got a man wide open and in for a Weaver touchdown. Touchdown Bearcats. He's throwing to Dalton Hamby. We talked at the outset of this ball game how Hamby and Hubbard are interchangeable at receiver and quarterback. This time it was Hubbard throwing to Hamby. And just as Darrell Hamby told Chase Robinson going out to the locker room, his team comes out with a little fire in their eyes, take it for a quick touchdown.
They always say that one of the most important parts of a football game is the first 5 minutes, the first drive on offense and then on defense of that third quarter, and that's executed to perfection there. 2 long plays, capped off with a touchdown, and you add that to the momentum that they had at the end of the second half when they finally got on the scoreboard. Weaver's putting together a couple of nice drives. And I'll tell you what, you don't see this very often where you have 2 legitimate quarterbacks and 2 legitimate wide receivers. Now, we've seen a quarterback come in who plays as a decoy as a wide receiver just to get him on the field, and he's split out wide, but you don't see 2 legitimate guys on both sides of the football as the extra point is up and good for Riley Benavides for Weaver. Big 75 there.
So that cuts the lead to 24-14. Now remember, Alexandria led 24-0. Weaver has scored touchdowns on their last 2 drives to cut the lead at 24-14. So the Bearcats will kick off to the Valley Cubs. 3 plays, 65 yards, only 56 seconds off the clock.
The interchanging quarterbacks kind of the story there because Hubbard started off there, and he had Dalton make a few plays, and Dalton gets into the end zone there. So we'll see how the Valley Cubs respond. But one of the things that you take away from Weaver's last 2 drives is it looks like they've established now that they can both run and throw the football with both guys. And I think that goes a long way as to what we were talking about earlier with the teams they have to play. Just having the multiple ways to hit you and to hurt you, it gives a lot of these teams they'll face coming up in the fall a lot to prepare for, which works out well in their favor. They're able to make some plays and get back into the playoffs for a 4th straight year.
So the Bearcats now to kick off. They have cut the lead down to 10. Alexandria will field it at the 10-yard line, but they'll bring it out to the 35. Gerhard, Alexandria had 296 yards of total offense in the first half. Now, when you look at that, if you double that up, say for a whole ball game, that's almost 600 yards of total offense.
Right.
Then when you look at the point that in high school you only play 12-minute quarters instead of 15-minute quarters, that's pretty doggone impressive.
Exactly, and you could try to stretch that out to a sample size of what some of the best college teams do, and those are best college numbers up in the upper echelon of 500 plus to 600 yards per game. And I remember Jacksonville State had a run there where they were averaging about 600 yards a game for about 3 or 4 games. They had one of the best offensive units in the country, but like you said, they're dealing with 3 more minutes per quarter. So Alexandria off to a nice pace here offensively. Close to 300 yards there in that first half, and no yards there on first down. Good job by the Weaver defense as Josh Tucker comes back onto the field for the Valley Cubs here as their signal caller. And they've also played 2 quarterbacks, not as frequently obviously as Weaver, but Quentin Bowie's been back there.
Second down and 10. Josh with the give to I believe that's going to be A.J. Martin. Only Martin's 2nd carry of the ball game. Scored a touchdown the first time he touched the ball. Picked up about 2 there.
You said at the top of the telecast, he's the leading tackler from a year ago on this Alexandria defense. They also rely on him on offense, and some of their key guys, some of their key cogs go both ways. And you see that some in 5A football. I think you probably see a little bit more frequently with the Alexandria Valley Cubs.
3rd down and 8. Here is a toss to Quentin Bowie. He's been quiet since the first quarter. Picks up yards across the 40 to about the 41, but that's going to be well short of the first down. And the Cubs will have to punt. So the play gained about 4 yards. But Alexandria is going to be 3 plays and punt.
So all the momentum right now swinging towards Weaver's way. You mentioned how their last 2 possessions have been touchdowns, dating back to the last possession of the second quarter. Maurice Goodman does the punting job for Weaver. He also does the punt returning job for the Bearcats. There he has the catch inside the 25-yard line. That's where Weaver will get back into business. And if the varsity unit here can get back on the scoreboard, we'll have a nice little storyline as we close out the varsity portion of this game and go into the JV portion.
So that was a 36-yard punt there by Joe Tucker. So Weaver will have it first down from the 23. Bearcats up to the line of scrimmage. And Hamby in the shotgun. He's going to throw, and he's got a man. They continue working that right side. Pass is complete over there to Goodman, and very close to a first down.
Yep, it's a good route here, and he had to throw over his running back. I'm not sure if there was a miscommunication there by the blocking assignments, but good job there by Hamby. Not dodging a defender, dodging his own running back. Able to get the ball out very close to a first down.
Got about 9.5 yards. So 2nd down and less than a yard to go for the first down. Hall in the backfield to the right of the quarterback. They'll fake the handoff. Ball's on the ground, and Alexandria able to pick it up. And the Valley Cubs are going to come up with their 3rd turnover here tonight.
This is a good read here by Hubbard. Goes to pull it, but doesn't secure it, and that is Quentin Bowie coming up with a big play defensively.
And that ball on the ground seemed like forever. And finally picked up there by Alexandria's number 26. It is Nate McCallum. And McCallum comes up with a big recovery down to the 24-yard line. So the Cubs have a golden opportunity to get the momentum back here from the Weaver 24.
Very reminiscent of the first drive by Weaver, where they got the turnover. They got exactly what they wanted out of their defense, but they couldn't capitalize on offense. The Valley Cubs got the ball back and ended up scoring a touchdown. As here we have a spin cycle tackle. Just grabbed him by the jersey and just kept spinning him around as much as he could go. Watch this is 73 for the Weaver Bearcats. Matt Mathis, the rising senior. Any way he can get it done, I guess. He already has 1 touchdown on the game. So a flag comes in here.
Yep. See the yellow hanky laying on the ground there.
Maybe unnecessary roughness. I wouldn't see it, but I don't know how.
Yeah, that's a subjective call, but I don't know that you see that there. He was just trying to make the tackle any way he could, like what you said. But we're about to get our indication.
Yeah, they'll call personal foul there, but that's okay. This will be offsetting, right? Personal foul on both of them. So this must have been after the play there, and yep, the referees did a good job right there to, number 1, to split it up, and 2, to call both sides. A lot of times on that, you'll see the second call, not the first. A lot of times there it looks like they got on top of it. They were able to get both guys there, and it's a great shot by our crew. And just before this play, the referees will speak to each other once again.
Alexandria leading 24-14. 7:38 to play here in the 3rd. The games that were scheduled for tomorrow have been moved to Saturday because of a threat of thunderstorms tomorrow. So we'll have Sachs White Plains and Pleasant Valley Pisgah coming up on Saturday. And we'll have all those games for you here on TV 24. Here's a give to Quentin Bowie. Quentin gets away from one man, 20-yard line, 15, and down inside the 15, very close to the first down. Great second and third effort there by Quentin Bowie. He could have been tackled right there, gets away from that man, and able to pick up about 7 or 8 more yards. Didn't quite get the first down, but he'll be very, very, very close.
Tyreek Hall had a great chance at him. He's one of the guys that we highlighted at the beginning of the game. So for big QB to get past him and then get more yards and inches away from that first down marker is a testament to a great second effort.
3rd and a yard. And the Cubs will pick up the first down just with another little give to Bowie. Bowie follows his blockers down to about the 13, maybe the 12. I think we'll call it the 12-yard line. That's a gain of a couple of yards. 30 yards on 6 carries for Quentin Bowie. Played a little quarterback in the early going. Haven't seen him since, I believe, the first quarter at quarterback.
Yeah, it took maybe 1 or 2 snaps there and a couple of handoffs, but he's been so efficient right now in the running game as a runner behind Smitherman. Right now they found something on offense with him.
And they'll give it to him again. Left side into the open field and takes it in for an Alexandria touchdown. Quentin Bowie from 12 yards away gets a block right there, turns it inside. Great vision. There's Smitherman with a nice block. And Bowie for the touchdown, and Alexandria has now its 5th touchdown of the night.
Almost fitting that Quentin Bowie was the guy that came up with that touchdown because he's the guy that caused the fumble. And the fumble was recovered by the Alexandria offense. Then he makes the run to set up the 3rd and short. He gets the first down. Then he also gets the touchdown. So that's all big number 7 QB Quentin Bowie. The Alexandria Valley Cubs, they're stretching this lead out to 30-14 right now. 2-point conversion on the way.
Cubs are 0 for 4 on 2-point conversions. Here's a give to Dye, and Dye, is he in there? Yes, he is. So Alexandria converts with a run there by Romeo Dye, and Alexandria leads by the score of 32-14 with 6:23 to play here in the 3rd.
So just like that, we were talking about how the Weaver Bearcats could cut this thing to 3. And now here we are at a 31-14 game, and here's how it happened after the turnover caused by Quentin Bowie. 4 plays, 24 yards. If I'm not mistaken, Bowie had all of them, if not close to all of them, in just over a minute and a half, a minute 42 seconds there. So that's all number 7 right there, from defense to offense, and he stretches this lead out.
And it's the 3rd time tonight that Alexandria has taken a Weaver turnover and converted it into a touchdown. Trey Prim kicks off, and Weaver will field it, and then they will take it back to the 35-yard line. And the Bearcats will put it into play with 6:20 to play in the 3rd.
So the way the format goes for this one, this is the last quarter for the varsity unit. 4th quarter will be all JV for both teams. You'll see a lot of the guys that played a little bit of the varsity, maybe some special teams here and there. So, I mean, some of the numbers will coincide as it did in the last game. But for the most part, it will be the guys that run their JV units that will take the bulk of the snaps in the 4th quarter. So last few possessions here for the A squads.
Bearcats with Hubbard at quarterback. Hubbard's going to keep it right side, and he'll motor up the sidelines for about 5 yards up to the 40-yard line. Hubbard showing some nice speed, nice decision making, and gets about 5 there on first down.
Nice job there by Paul Hubbard. It's a good look at the Weaver guys up front. They've done a pretty good job blocking here. so far in this game. They haven't been able to establish a lot of a run on the inside. Most of the running success they've had has come outside the tackles.
2nd and 5 from the 40. Out of the shotgun. They'll go back to Hamby at quarterback. And we'll have a whistle. Let's see if someone called timeout. And I believe that it will be the Bearcats. Coach Hamby going to huddle around his team here. They'll stop the clock with 5:34 to play in the 3rd. Earlier in the day, the Ohatchee Indians and the Welborn Panthers played to a 27-27 tie. But it was 19-13 Ohatchee after the varsity finished playing 3 quarters. And then Welborn's junior varsity able to come back, score a couple of touchdowns. Actually led Ohatchee, and then the Indians with a late score by their junior varsity ended up in a 27-27 tie ball game.
Obviously, I would think the most impressive team, if you want to give that award to somebody so far, it's Ohatchee. They're one of the teams that over the course of the last few days, since last Friday, has been leaps and bounds what they were just 700 days ago. Just 2 years ago, this team wasn't as solid as they are right now, and Coach Scott Martin's over there building something very special.
Well, and you're really seeing a resurgence in the entire athletic program at Ohatchee, which is great to see. Here is a give to Hall, and Hall able to pick up minimal yardage, about a half yard across the 40, not even to the 41-yard line, so it'll bring up a 3rd down and a long 4 coming up for the Bearcats. Pretty snazzy uniforms there for Weaver.
Yeah, got the camo look on the outside and camo look in the numbers.
And here's a long throw and making a catch again. But we may have a pass interference penalty here.
I don't know if you remember a few series ago, it looked like Goodman pushed off a little bit, and it looked close to the same thing there. I think they're going to get the offense for pass interference here. I'm almost done trying to guess what they're going to call in these situations, but this one looked pretty obvious to me that he created a little separation. Watch here at the very end of the play with 21 for Alexandria, Jalen Cunningham.
Pass interference against Alexandria.
On the defense. Once again, I'll resign trying to make these calls from up here. I don't see how Cunningham did that, but they called it nonetheless on Cunningham. Maybe something that happened in the air before the ball actually came down. It looks like when he came down, though, extended with the hands, but nonetheless, a good catch there by Goodman, and the drive stays alive.
And rolling to his left is Hubbard. And Hubbard turns it upfield and will get yardage. He'll step out of bounds at about the 24. That's going to be about a yard and a half short of the 1st down. You'll see Hubbard with a fake. He's going to roll to the sidelines, directs a little traffic, and tiptoes down those sidelines about a yard and a half short of the 1st down.
In this day and age right now with the spread offenses, one of the things that all these coaches like is an athletic quarterback, a guy that could just get you yards if, number one, nobody's open, or 2, you just need a few yards just for a boost, and he can do that on design runs.
Hubbard will run the option, flips it back to his trailing back. That's Hall, and Hall, that was nicely executed down to the inside the 15, down to the 11-yard line. Your quarterback wants to keep the ball to the last second he can, and nicely executed. Watch Hubbard as he rolls left, right there. He flips it back to his trailing back, and they'll take it down to the 11-yard line. Nice option.
Absolutely. Hall was one of the lead guys blocking, the guy that finished that drive off. One of the spotlight players from earlier today, Giovanni Mosley. Good to see him back in action.
And looking, throwing, and another one that can't make the catch. Looking for Landon Knight down at the 1-yard line.
I'll tell you what, these passes have been there, though. I mean, these passes have been, number 1, on the money, and 2, catchable footballs. And it's the right play call. They catch the defense exactly where they want, behind them on those slant routes. And Hubbard's put them on the money. It comes down to execution. And a lot of these questions will be fixed in the summertime when they go to these 7-on-7 camps over the course of the late July, early August. But that's got to be frustrating as a coach to have it all dialed up.
2nd down and 10. Hubbard going to look, got a man down at the 1, and he's in for the touchdown. Pass is complete down to number 34, Kyle Clapper. There's the fake. He rolls left, throws. Clapper with a nice catch and kind of falls into the end zone right in front of Alexandria's Devin Grant.
They scored on that exact same play on the other side of the field. Clapper just basically goes to the pylon, and Hubbard puts it only where he can catch it, and he's able to adjust to the football and then get inside the end zone. So we're seeing a staple of what Weaver likes to do when they get into the red zone. Get Hubbard to get the ball out to Kyle Clapper's hands, and the junior is able to get into the end zone.
Extra point is good, and it is 32-21. 8 plays, 65 yards on the scoring drive there for the Bearcats. Time of possession, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. And they have cut into the Alexandria lead, and it's now 32-21. The Valley Cubs with the lead, 3:55 to play in the third quarter. So the Bearcats will kick off to Alexandria. The varsity will play for the rest of this quarter. And then some of the younger guys will play for the entire fourth quarter. Eight plays, 65 yards for the Bearcats. That takes Weaver to 280 yards in total offense for the ball game.
Talked earlier about a resurgence in the Ohatchee football program, and really just a resurgence in athletics just overall at the school. And we've seen additions to their baseball complex, and volleyball has done well, and their softball team is in the 3A state championship. They will play tomorrow against Dale County. They'll open up play, potentially have 3 games. It's a double elimination tournament. They will play Dale County. They also have Hale County and Pisgah, Oakman, Slocum, Plainview, and Prattville Christian. Those are the 8 teams there in Class 3A sports or Class 3A softball. And then also in Class 5A, the Alexandria Valley Cubs, they were in today's championship or today's double elimination tournament. They ended up losing to Springville. And Springville was their second loss of the tournament, so they were eliminated, but then Springville went on to win the state championship. So essentially they lost to the best team in the state. So pretty good softball here in Calhoun County, and also the Oxford Yellow Jackets are in. Other area teams include Southside Lady Panthers. Spring Garden Lady Panthers are also in as well. So good luck to all of our local teams down in Montgomery trying to bring home softball state championships over the course of the next 2 or 3 days.
You saw A.J. Martin there with a loss back to the 34-yard line. So that'll bring up a 2nd down and 11. Josh Tucker trots in from the sideline. The Alexandria quarterback runs to the sidelines, gets the play between every play. We'll talk about that more in just a little bit. Here's a give to Quentin Bowie. And Bowie able to pick up a little bit of yardage out across the 35 and up to about the 39-yard line.
He's just so tough to tackle. He runs low to the ground. He's a very strong kid. And then when they give him some lead blocking, I mean, he's already a big body as it is, can dodge a lot of tackles. And he's one of those rare guys that is big enough to run through you, but also can run around you. He's got the speed, as we saw on the touchdown run on their last possession. So Quentin Bowie's certainly showing his worth here for this Valley Cub football team, and right on time. Talked about how hard he is to tackle, and Kyle Clapper, the guy who scored the last touchdown for the Weaver Bearcats, comes through with a nice backside tackle.
Yeah, he just cut the legs out from under Bowie. And I believe that's Bowie there with his, going to come up with a cramp. And there you'll see our T-shirt sponsor, the staff of Dr. Clinton Ray, coming out to assist there with the injured Alexandria player.
Some of the best in the business and right on cue there. I mean, he was on the ground for less than 20 seconds and got a trainer out there to help with him there. And we talked earlier about how the conditions, I mean, it was 84 degrees in the air. I'm sure it was close to 90 down there on that turf. We'd expect to see a lot more cramps, and this is the first one we've seen today. And so looks like he'll walk off on his own power there. Those are painful, but we see a lot more of those in the springtime. And so far today, we've been relatively cramp-free outside of Bowie right here, who looks like he'll be okay. So that speaks to the conditioning for both these teams heading into this matchup.
You know, it was about 84 degrees in the earlier game. It is cooled down considerably, down to 68 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about a 16-degree differential from when we, about 6 o'clock or so?
Right. Just the sun went down, so we had a nice cool breeze here. So the day started out kind of like what you'll see in week 1, and then it closes out like you'll feel in about week 6 or so. Week 5, week 6, week 7, somewhere in there, where the temperature starts to cool down a little bit before we get into the cold spells of November.
So Alexandria will have to punt the football to Weaver. Minute 39 left here in the third. Joe Tucker for his second punt of the evening. And this one's kind of going to be pooched. It'll hit at the 41-yard line and will be fielded at the 36. So that's a 29-yard punt there by Tucker. So Weaver will take over first down from their own 36-yard line. With about a little over a minute and a half to play here before the younger guys come in and finish the ball game out. We mentioned earlier that the games that were originally scheduled for tomorrow evening have been moved to Saturday. And I believe Saxon White Plains, is that the first game?
It is.
Gerhard?
Yep, it is. It's a matchup of two teams that know each other really well, that have played each other both in the regular season and also in the non-region games. That'll be another matchup that we'll see tomorrow. And then there are 7 football playing schools in the county. The 8th they bring in. We've seen different schools in the past. This year it will be Pisgah. That'll come in and play Pleasant Valley in the closer tomorrow night, or Saturday afternoon, I should say. Games will start at 12 and at 3.
Here's a throw. That one might have been batted down at the line of scrimmage. It's incomplete. It'll bring up a second down for the Bearcats now from their 30. And yeah, you'll see that one batted at the line of scrimmage, kind of turned into a wounded duck. It'll bring up a 2nd and 10 now for Weaver. Hamby, the quarterback, going to take a couple of steps back, air it out, and a little bit too far as he's looking for London Knight. And another penalty flag goes down to the ground right there where the ball landed. So we're probably going to see another pass interference call. It'll depend on which way this one goes as they talk it over. Oh, it's going to be a hold.
So they call holding on the defense, and kind of like me, Frank Tucker wants an explanation there.
going to be a hold on Alexandria, so it'll be a 10-yard penalty, which will give Weaver their first down and move the ball to the 40-yard line. And Hamby at quarterback. He's going to look. He's going to throw. And they've got the old Georgia pass set up there. Had a back trailing. Pass was complete. Had a trailing back. Flipped it back over to Hubbard. There's the completion to Goodman. Goodman flips it back to his trailing back, Hubbard. Right there.
Sometimes referred to as the old hook and ladder.
Yep.
A lot of times you don't see what we would label quote unquote trick plays in spring games. A lot of times coaches don't want to put that stuff on film. So hats off there to Daryl Hamby, seeing if his guys can execute on first down, and they did.
I called it the Georgia pass. I actually think, Gerhard, that may be a Lou Scales term that only folks in the Valley know. But hook and lateral is very much more well known. But especially a lot of the old timers out in the Valley will call it the Georgia pass.
Right. And it's kind of like the Utah pass,
yep.
And
there's
pass. Right, the shovel pass, where it kind of sticks to one brand of football, and the ones that you kind of see it first or see it do well. And I'm sure there's tons of people out there that know exactly what you're talking about when you refer to it as the Georgia pass. And some people on the good side, some people were hurt by that at some point in time in their football playing or football watching careers. But once again, it's just an interesting play call there by Weaver, setting up here second and about 4.
2nd and 4 from the 46. Hamby rolls right, eludes the rush, throws, and is it intercepted? I believe it is. Intercepted there by Alexandria's Romeo Dye. Comes up with the football at the 29-yard line. Playing center field there and comes up with the interception. That's the 4th turnover of the night for Weaver.
Couldn't play this any more perfectly if you're Romeo Dye. I mean, he ends up just being a receiver on this play. Kind of has him in his hip pocket, and big number 22 gets interception number 2 on the day. I think they have found a corner, a defensive back there. I'm not sure if they list him as the safety or as the corner. He's been playing a lot more corner in this game. So we'll see how teams attack him later, because so far he's their shutdown guy.
Now on the first down play, here's a give to Quentin Bowie, and Quentin will be forward up to about the 32-yard line. Then a late penalty flag. 2 of them go to the ground. So we're beginning to get a little testy. Probably wouldn't be a good Alexandria Weaver game if you didn't have a little bit of testiness, even if it is a spring game.
You're right about that.
As I said early on, only about 7 or 8 miles separate the 2 schools. A lot of these guys know each other. So let's see if we have offsetting penalties or how they will. It'll be a personal foul against the Bearcats, personal foul against Alexandria, and so we will have 2nd down. We'll have a little fracas here that will erupt. Yep, there it is.
And these are teaching moments right here, and that's what Coach Hamby's doing right now with all of his guys.
So the Cubs from the 32-yard line, 2nd down play. We're down to the waning moments, maybe the last snap of this 3rd quarter. Josh Tucker with the give to number 17, Baker. And Baker's going to lose back to the 30-yard line, and yet another yellow hanky on the ground back at about the 42.
That's kind of been the mark of so far the latter stages of the 2nd quarter, and really all of the 3rd quarter has been penalties. And these are also teaching points, because You can't have too many of these in the fall and expect to go very far. You know, a lot of the teams that make the playoffs make strong runs. You go back and look at their penalty numbers. It's a strict correlation between the ones who have the most success, who have the most wins, and the ones who hurt themselves the least.
That's a personal foul against Alexandria. It'll take it all the way back to the 15-yard line. Cubs have to make it up to the 38 to pick up a first down, so it'll be 3rd down and 23. And that's the end of the 3rd period. So the varsity for both teams have had their time. Alexandria leads 32-21 as we played 3 quarters here from Burgess Snow Field here in Jacksonville State. Here you see the Bearcats and the Valley Cubs from some of the great action from our 3rd quarter. 2016 Calhoun County Spring Jam here from Jacksonville State, presented by Tony Sarah Ford. At the end of 3, it's Alexandria 32, Weaver 21. Back here in just a moment, you're viewing TV 24.
Oxford Secure Storage has now expanded with over 140 units. Oxford Secure Storage now has the largest selection of climate-controlled units in the area. All sizes, both climate and non-climate controlled units, are available with state-of-the-art amenities. All access ways are paved and under 24-hour high-tech surveillance. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will help you through the entire rental process. Come see for yourself the extra measures Oxford Secure Storage takes for your security.
TV 24.
And we're back here down to throw it down to the field to Chase Robinson, the T-shirt man.
All right, we had Alexandria's cheerleaders throw them out a minute ago, and now we've got the Weaver Bearcat cheerleaders ready to throw the Core Sports T-shirts out, guys.
Core Sports T-shirts, always popular. See, some of these folks see if they can make some of those catches with those T-shirts like you have to make in the end zone. So we will begin quarter number 4. And now the JV for both teams. I think we're going to see Jacob Wells at quarterback for Alexandria. Jacob wears number 11. Looks like number 44. Jerry Tant is going to be in the backfield. Dye, I believe, back there for Alexandria. But Jacob Wells, who will be a sophomore, will start the 4th quarter for Alexandria at quarterback. He played a little bit of quarterback in some of Alexandria's blowout wins back in 2015. He, along with Josh Tucker, did mop-up duty behind Luke Tucker. So only an 8-minute 4th period. And not a lot there on that first down play. There's Wells will keep it. And he'll be stopped there at the line of scrimmage, so it'll bring up a 2nd down and 10.
Just a miscommunication here between center and quarterback. At that point, really nothing more you can do. Jacob Wells just jumping on top of the football and living to see another down.
And here is the give. That's going to be Dye, who played a lot in those first 3 quarters. And he picks up a yard or 2. That'll bring up a 3rd down and about 7 or 8.
I'm sure some of the Weaver guys are saying, how in the world is Romeo Dye on the JV squad?
Yeah.
He's had a phenomenal game so far, but obviously the coaches want to see him run on offense. He's obviously doing a great job with their defensive unit as one of their corners.
And Wells now with a give, trying to turn it outside is number 26, McCallum. And McCallum will get up to about the 38-yard line. There you see he's finally tackled there, and then yet another penalty flag back at the 34-yard line there.
A lot of these JV guys, we talked about this in the last game, their main duties during the course of the year is to pretend to be the other team. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, in practice, what they're doing is running the schemes of the other team. They don't get a chance to run their stuff, to run Alexandria or Weaver stuff through the course of the week unless you're playing in the JV game. And so it's one of the good times here in a game-like situation to run some of your own stuff, show the coaches and help evaluate to the coaches that they can help contribute on Friday night.
Joe Tucker, bootleg to the near side, and he has got yardage down inside the 40, down to the 35-yard line. So Alexandria's fourth quarterback of the night, Joe Tucker, who will be, we don't have it on our roster, but I believe will be a sophomore in the fall, if not a freshman, one of the two. Takes it all the way down to the 35-yard line. So Alexandria has played Josh Tucker, Joe Tucker, Quentin Bowie, and Jacob Wells at quarterback. And now Joe will remain at quarterback. Here's a give to Seth Slayton. And he'll get yardage down to about the 31-yard line. Or check that, that's Dye.
Romeo Dye, a big-time defensive back for this team, also playing a little bit of running back. Just got word from Chase Robinson downstairs that Grayson Chafin, if you watched the first quarter of this game, this game was his. And he had a lot of yards there, a couple of touchdowns, a couple of big runs. And according to Chase Robinson, he cramped up, I guess, late in the second quarter. He didn't play at all in that third quarter, but the coaches apparently right now it's just a precautionary thing. I don't think he hurt himself seriously, so no need to worry if you're a Valley Cup fan watching this on television. It looks like he will be okay, but cramps a very minor issue, so to speak, for this game. Quentin Bowie hopped off one well on his own power, and looks like Grayson Chafin will be okay as well. So,
well, Chafin had 189 yards on 8 carries, Gerhard, so he didn't have a lot more to prove. Jacob Wells now back in at quarterback, and Wells will be thrown down to the ground there by the Bearcats. We talked about, here you see Jacob Wells as he fakes. He's going to try to run a bootleg, and Goodman's going to pull him down. We talked about the Smitherman family and their legacy with Alexandria football. Wells is another last name that's been at least 40 years or more in Alexandria football. And now Joe Tucker back in at quarterback, and he will give to number 23. That is Slayton. And Slayton will be down to about the 23-yard line. Clock's rolling down to 4:22. Only playing an 8-minute fourth quarter. So we're about halfway through that. There's been no scoring so far by the JVs for either team. Wells with the give. A lot of running room inside the 15 and down to the 10-yard line. There goes Savon Baker.
Check out here on the replay. Great downfield blocking by the offensive lineman. Opened up a big gap there.
I'll tell you, Baker looked good there in the open field. Just a good-looking runner when he got ahead of steam up. They'll put him down at the 11-yard line, so it'll be first down. Alexandria could pick up a first down before scoring. And here's a give to Slayton, and Slayton will be inside the 10 and down to what looks to be about the 7-yard line. Brings up a second down and 6 for Alexandria from the 7. And And you got to think these guys, these young guys, they want to score.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of a point of pride here because even though the score stays the same as far as the JV to the varsity game, it's two distinct, different, quote-unquote, games. And so bragging rights are definitely on the line. We talked to it earlier in the Wellborn-Ohatchee game. Wellborn really came out and as we have some extracurriculars here after the whistle, looks like everybody's split up and everybody's okay now. But
McCallum, the ball carrier, and the officials just kept blowing the whistle, and had to back some guys up. No penalty flags. We'll keep playing football, so it'll be 3rd down and 2 for Alexandria from the 3. 3rd and 2 from the 3. Out of the wing tee. Here's a give, and in for the touchdown is number 17, Savon Baker. And Alexandria able to add another touchdown on the board, extends the lead to 38-21 with 2:38 to play here in the ball game.
Fine job of blocking up front. I want to give credit to some of those guys along that left side of the offensive line. And you had a pulling offensive lineman as well. Looks like 52, 55 for the Alexandria Valley Cubs. That is Eric Farlow and Cavante Higgins.
And now the try for 2 out of the wing tee. Wells rolls right. He looks, got his man. 2-point conversion is good. Pass is complete out there to Seth Slayton for the 2-point conversion. And it's Alexandria 40, Weaver 21 with 2:38 to play here in the 4th.
That's a well-executed offensive drive there by the Alexandria junior varsity squad. Basically went down the length of the field from when they got the ball at the start of this JV quarter. Really marched it down there at will and able to get a touchdown there as we look at our Tony Sarah Ford scoring drive. 12 plays, 81 yards, shoot up 5 minutes and 50 seconds. And that's a great looking shot there.
I think I can almost see the American flag that Neil Armstrong planted on the moon there. Beautiful.
Full moon out tonight. That's just a phenomenal shot right there. You can see all the crevices right there. It's a good looking shot.
Why does it look like that when I take a picture of it with my cell phone, Gerhard?
You have to ask our director, Mike Heithcock, about that. I exercise the same thing.
40-21, Alexandria leads. Just over 2.5 minutes to play in the 4th.
And you're looking right there, camera 4. Got that great shot.
Just takes a good cameraman.
Exactly.
The Bearcats now from the 30. See if they can answer the Alexandria touchdown. They pick up about 5 yards there on 1st down. That will be number 7, Shamar Spinks. Spinks will be a sophomore in the fall. He picks up about 5, but we have a penalty. It's going to back him up 10.
And once again, I think that if you were to kind of nutshell Weaver's woes, it's got to be the penalty flags.
Yeah.
They've put themselves in such precarious situations over the course of really had a clean first quarter, but over the course of the 2nd and 3rd quarter and now creeping into this 4th quarter, penalties have really been a big issue for them.
That and the turnovers, 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles. And here's a throw and a little bit behind the intended receiver. It was looking for number 8, Amardrick Elston. Threw it a little bit behind him, so it's incomplete. It'll bring up 2nd down and 15 from the 25. Alexandria 40, Weaver 21.
And they're just joining us. Tomorrow's games now scheduled for Saturday. Saxon White Plains will start at noon. Following that game, Pleasant Valley and Pisgah. Nowhere to run here for Weaver offense.
Yeah, that Spinks. Jaden Calhoun was at quarterback. Pitched it back to Spinks, and Alexandria all over him. And nowhere to go. Number 52 for the Valley Cubs there with the initial contact. That's Eric Farlow.
56, Leighton Ellison also on the play. Nate McCallum, 26 there as well. So that's a great job of gang-style tackling by the Valley Cubs. And once again, it's kind of been the drill here for Weaver, looking at third and too long to start doing the math on it.
Third and about 25. Aaron get out. Got a man, he's open, and he makes the catch. What about that?
Third and long has been the down where they've made the plays. If you just take the third and anywhere over 6 or 7 yards, that's when the plays have been made in this ball game for Weaver.
Third down and 25, and they convert. They get not only 25, but they got more, all the way down to the Alexandria 40-yard line. That's a gain of 45 yards there for Weaver. Down just inside the 40, between the 40 and the 39-yard line.
If they played every play like it was 3rd and 11, I think that they'd be winning this football game.
Yeah. Now out of the shotgun. Did I hear a whistle? Yes, I did. I heard a whistle. I don't see a penalty flag. Yep, now I do.
Comes along that far side. Not to belittle their efforts so far, but third down has really been their down when their backs have been against the wall.
It's been what, at least 4 times that we can think of and count. They've converted on third down and long. Had a third down and 9 they converted, a third and 4, a third and 6, and that one a third down and 25. So that's one bright spot for the Bearcats that they can take home. Under heavy pursuit, Calhoun throws. He's got a man, but he overthrows him. He was looking for London Knight. Pass is incomplete. We're down inside a minute to play. 51 seconds remaining.
If I'm seeing this on the roster correctly, Jaden Calhoun, who just threw that football, is a rising 8th grader. And that's a heck of an arm for a rising 8th grader.
Absolutely. You're right. Shows as a 7th grader this year, be an 8th grader in the fall. So really basically a 7th grader.
Right. And that was at least 40 yards in the air, and he overshot his receiver by just a little bit.
And here's a pitch. And out to Goodman. We're down to 44 seconds. You know, that reminds me when you look at Calhoun with that arm, and as young as he is, that's somebody to watch in years to come.
Right.
Reminds me of actually playing in this very stadium when first time I ever saw Matt Campbell play for Alexandria, and I looked at the roster and I saw he was in the 8th grade. I thought, either this kid's going to be great or we're in deep trouble if we're playing an 8th grader, and we all know how that ended up.
Absolutely. First shows the arm and then shows the wheels there. I'll tell you what, Jaden Calhoun's having one heck of a junior varsity part of this quarter right here.
Calhoun down to about the 10-yard line. So that young man is going to be someone to watch, and if you're a Weaver Bearcat fan, that gives you some promise for the future. Only in the 7th grade.
Just from a body language standpoint, looks like he has poise and control over the huddle as he calls the plays for this JV offensive unit.
So from the 13-yard line, Calhoun's going to throw. He's got a man complete down at the 3, gets away from the defender and gets into the end zone for the touchdown. That's London Knight who makes the grab. You'll see the throw. Here's the catch. Gets away from the Alexandria defender who doesn't finish the play and gets in for the Weaver touchdown.
This is a very, very impressive drive here by this Weaver JV offense. It started off with Calhoun's arm and then his legs and then back to the arm, and once again, Weaver's back on the scoreboard. This time, London Knight gets him in there. It's a fantastic drive there by Weaver.
So now the 2-point conversion. Calhoun throws. Does he have it? Yes.
Nice.
2-point conversion is good. Complete down there to number 4, Robert Gaines. And Weaver has cut it down to 40-29.
Wow, that's impressive. That's very impressive. The concentration there in order to hang on to that football. That's pretty good coverage there on the backside there by Alexandria's defense. That was number 46 in coverage. We don't have a 46 on our roster. Let's take a look at the Tony Serra 4 scoring drive. 9 plays, 70 yards, 2 minutes, 12 seconds, capped off by a Calhoun to London Knight touchdown. And I'll tell you what, some bright spots here for this Bearcat junior varsity.
Yeah, I think if you're a Weaver Bearcat, you can almost say that this fourth quarter and finding those bright spots and those young guys, that might be one of the biggest things that they'll take away from this ball game.
Absolutely, and they'll obviously go back and develop a lot of these guys, and most of the guys are in the fold as far as with the varsity unit for the first time. A guy like Calhoun, I could imagine being a 7th grader, this is his first time being on this level of football, so lots to look forward to as they move forward.
Wells with a give there to Dye, and that probably is going to be the last play of the ball game. We're down to 14, 13, 12 seconds. Alexandria will not have to run another play, and I don't imagine they will. So the clock, well, let's see, do we stop it? Nope, the clock is run out. Heard a whistle right about the time the clock ran out, but this ball game is over, and Alexandria will get a 40-29 victory over the Weaver Bearcats. So bright spots for both teams. For Alexandria, being able to run the football. Grayson Chafin, what a ball game he had all in the first half. Alexandria able to convert on the 4 Weaver turnovers, turn them into touchdowns. For the Bearcats, able to show that they could convert even on 3rd down and long. And then this fourth quarter, when they've had a lot of young guys have come out and said, hey, look at me, I can play ball down the road here for this Weaver Bearcat team. I think that's what both teams will take away from this.
Exactly. The 3rd downs were really clutch for Weaver. Also the fact that you legit have 2 guys with Paul Hubbard as well as Hamby, 2 guys that can play quarterback and 2 guys that can play receiver for this unit, and both did really well. Chase Robinson is standing by with the head coach of the Alexandria Valley Cubs, Frank Tucker. Chase.
All right, Coach, wrapping up your spring tonight with a win. First of all, how was spring for the Valley Cubs?
It went real well. I was really just pleased with the attitude of these boys. I don't think many people gave them much credit, but they played hard and they played good. And, Weaver's a good team, too. I think we beat a good team tonight. So as long as nobody got injured, I was very happy with spring.
Talk about some things you saw in the game tonight, some things you want to work on, and some high points.
Well, I thought our defense got a lot of turnovers. I was real pleased with that. I thought our offensive line did well, but we still got a long way to go. It's hard to get a lot done in 9 days. But the main thing, I was just pleased with their effort tonight.
All right, well, thank you, Coach, and good luck next season.
Gerhard, I've been knowing Frank Tucker for a long, long time, and I detect a little bit of an air of confidence in Frank Tucker after last year's 11-2 season that maybe hasn't been there before.
Absolutely. Taking a look at one of the key cogs of this crew right here, that is Tony Caveman Castaneda. He will celebrate his birthday. It seems like he's got like 17 lives, so maybe 100. I'm hearing 54. I'm thinking close to 154. Tony Caveman Castaneda, happy birthday, my man. I know you'll be celebrating here very, very shortly. Does a lot of work. Very, very versatile high school football.
I think it's 39, Tony.
Birthday is on Saturday right here. And that was going to be an off day for him, and I think he'll now have to work. We'll have the games coming up on Saturday at noon and then at 2 o'clock, so we'll get a little early birthday love for Tony Caveman Castaneda. But honestly, one of the guys that's loved football in this area for forever. He has seen all the greats play. We talked about some of the greats earlier in this broadcast, guys like Matt Campbell, some of those other guys. He's videoed those guys back on tape way, way back in the day. And now working with the production crew as well as on the Pigskin Roundup. We appreciate all of his efforts.
So Alexandria with a 40-29 victory here over the Weaver Bearcats. And you see some of the action that we've had through this great ball game. There's a nice throw, nice catch there for the Bearcats. Another rollout. Good ball game for both teams. I think there are positives for both teams to take away from that. Alexandria with that young man right there, a good-looking back. Weaver found some good-looking backs in the fourth quarter. Cubs win 40-29.